WIFT PM.
Thin line between being a genius and insane. God, immortal. Yeah. Every minute I fight with lethargy, striving to be godly with an intelligence quotient that exceeds numerology. Scholar body honorary, school of prophet alum, anthropomorphized lessons so I could become the heartbeat of righteousness. The everyday fight to pump the blood of kings and breathe the breath of life. Moving up like Confederates and Yankee territories in the 17th century. But it's a thin line between divinity and iniquity. The Mason-Dixon hitting and complacent decisions. Can't escape the collision. Time be idle like Billy. Party like a rock star. Fall like that girl that used to endorse Trim Spa. Or Nirvana's lead vocalist. The clientele of the dream merchant like Mr. Chappelle. People think I'm sick in the mind and leave the comforts of Babylon behind. And book flights on airlines to Africa. Traveling the globe, accomplishing goals like Ronaldinho. The victim of a level 12 quake, I rise through the wreckage, repairing brain damage and striving for perfection. Your mind can be your worst antagonist or a true pal, and you shall become legendary and futile. Decisions of a god in training on a daily basis. I nap purposely, trying to escape it. The thin line between the mastermind and the man of the master. Which one are you after? The thin line between being a legend and being the captive. Which one are you after? The thin line between a mastermind and a man of the master. Which one are you after? The thin line between being a god and being the captive. Which one are you after?
Hey, it's New Year's Eve. What's happening out there? Welcome to the green side.
What's up?
Cassie, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing, Sadeek?
I'm great.
You're back.
I'm back. Man, y'all held it down.
Thank you. The man case takeover was all good. We was okay.
Man, it was sweet.
We was all right.
I loved it.
Well, you produced a hell of a show. You had it all ready for us, so it was it's easy for us to come on in and do the thing. And I hope we just represent the green side well.
The green side. Yeah. I'm so happy to be here. And got my man Jared in the booth.
What up, Jared?
We got Herb Howard
Happy
somewhere.
New Year's Eve, everyone.
Hey,
yes.
Circulating in the building somewhere.
Yes.
So listen, everybody, please do us a favor.
Please do that.
Like, comment, and share the broadcast.
Right now. Come on to the studio. We see that y'all are viewing us, but go ahead, drop a little line in the comments. Let us know. Say what's up to us. Give us a little high five.
Yeah,
tell us what you're eating right now.
Yeah. So what you're eating? And
it's because it's the lunchtime.
It's lunchtime. So come on, get around the lunch table.
Yeah.
On the green side.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about eventually some traditions because New Year's Eve involves food.
It really does.
Right.
It really does.
So
some of y'all might be out getting shopping right now.
Yeah. So. If you're out shopping and watching it, drop us a comment. Let us know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Are you soaking black eyed peas?
Hey, like Dawn.
Yeah.
Dawn
Dawn's got her black eyed peas. Are you? Thank you, my brother. Oh, and the mic.
Oh, can I have one too? Thank you.
There you go for the lady.
Thank you.
So are you making greens?
Right. Oh,
what else?
of course.
What else?
We're doing kale salad.
You don't. I don't think that's on the traditional list.
Oh no. You know what? So
live kale salad or is it?
It's live.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, tomorrow, right before we engage in the January jump off with the plant-based African, we are gonna eat seafood. We are. And I think that's a big deal for like New Year's.
What type of seafood?
We're going to have some scallops and some crab and shrimp. Black folks love shrimp.
Scrimps.
Right.
Yeah,
I like getting into other things like oysters and clams and all of those good things. But we got all the kids. Okay. So the kids, they real funny acting when it comes to food. So
yeah, I can see that, especially with
that's ugly. It's gross. Blah blah blah. So
how do they sound?
It's ugly. What's that? Ew. I don't eat that. Have you ever tried it? No. I don't want to.
Blah blah blah.
Right. It's just like, come on, man. But I get it. I was a child once, and I was a child that all my food had to be separated.
Oh, that's the worst.
I was that kid.
Gee, that's the worst.
I could not eat it if the juice from the greens hit my mac. It's over. I don't want it.
You don't want it?
I don't want it.
That's the worst.
I was so, I separated my food so
shrimp.
much. Yes, vegan shrimp.
Not this week for her, Will. It's
this week.
It's ocean.
And I actually wouldn't have a problem with doing
this is so black.
It starting, but we got the children and we already letting them know like, hey, we're gonna be doing vegan for the month, and it's like I'm not doing that, So it's a slow process and trying to get them to switch over. So on New Year's Day, it was just like, okay, cool, whatever is for y'all, and then we going into our thing starting the next day. But I was such that kid that I separated my food so much, I had no idea that you were supposed to put the cranberry sauce on your dressing. To me, cranberry sauce was its own thing by itself. It was extra sweet.
Now, was it real cranberry sauce or was it the gel
man.
You
know
you
got to eat the gel, G. The gel is
I
fire.
love the gel
That's
in the
fire.
can.
That's fire. That's when I saw like real cranberry sauce.
All of the process,
like,
with all of the processed gel
I looked
parts.
at the real cranberry sauce like, what
I don't
the
want
hell
that.
is that?
I don't want no real cranberries. So just go ahead and type in the comments, I like jail. If you are a jail cranberry sauce, which most of you are, whether you say it or not.
Right. Slice. You want a good circle. Okay.
And remember when you were small and they would attempt to cut the slice in half, and you were like,
that
I want
never
the whole
happens.
slice.
That
They didn't cut the
never
slice in
happened
half?
in my no.
That must have been too many of us. Here's your half slice. Half slice.
I'd be pissed off. Like, what?
Half slice.
First of all, I was going in for 2 slices. I told you, never touched my dressing, ever. That did not happen until I was probably 23, 24 years old.
Oh, wow. You didn't mix it until 23?
And then I was like, oh, that's fine. That's fine as hell. That's really, really good.
Wow.
Right. But no, I wasn't going down there earlier than that.
So check it out.
Yes.
Today, we are doing a light New Year's Eve show. We want everybody to come in with us, share the broadcast. We're going to talk black movies and images. I got some real questions for this brother.
I love it.
I got some real questions.
I'm a TV and movie watcher, so I'm excited.
But what I love about Brother Steele, Deion Steele, we got him coming on. What I love about him is that he is a supreme intellect, but he is a movie and cultural enthusiast. So
okay.
He's gonna break some stuff down from his point of view, and I got all kinds of questions because I'm curious.
I have a question.
Uh-oh.
Does he watch Nollywood?
I don't know. Deion, that's a...
I can't wait because I am a Nollywood watcher.
Does he watch Nollywood? I don't know. Is that black?
Yes, that's Nigerian Hollywood.
That's real black.
I watch all of their
the Nollywood
soaps and dramas.
Well, we might have to. Yeah, we'll ask him.
And the South Africans, not the Nigerian and the South Africans. They got it coming from the continent. They kind of got it on locked as far as the concentration of content they put out there. But yes.
Okay. Well, let's do this. We're gonna go to break.
Yeah.
And then when we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to have Mr. Deion Steele with us. We'll tell you more about him. Like, share, comment. You're on the green side with Sadeek
and Cassiopeia. You're Honda hair. Y'all remember that from Creed? Freddie off A Different World. Go to break. Get out of here.
Go to break.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now.
Church Chicago's Power Hour. I'm your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Keys, TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
Do you believe that God's going to turn it around?
I got to.
Why?
Why? Because he's did it before.
Come on.
And he'll do it again.
Yes.
And you can do it again.
Yes. Come on here.
Come on, I better leave that alone.
Somebody calling you right now.
Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing, I better go. God's going to turn it around.
And I feel like we have to encourage the people because so many people are just truly depressed. They're going through the holiday blues, and we want you to know that you don't have to be discouraged. But you can, in fact, be encouraged because God's going to turn it around.
Turn it around. You know, it's me again. God's going to turn it around.
WIIFT PM.
This is Mixla Production. This is Mixla Production.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are on the green side of things.
Yo.
With Sadeek and Cassiopeia.
Yeah.
And it's New Year's Eve in the western part of the world. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's
yes,
New Year's
it
Eve in the
is.
western part of the world, but we've got with us our friend and our brother, Mr. Dion Steele. A lot of you all out there may or may not know Dion is like homegrown Chicago international with a Pan-African activist community, like just all around universal person.
That he got all of it up in there because that was a whole mouthful that you just said.
Yeah, he's something else, but he's a history professor.
Okay.
And also has a divinity degree.
Oh.
From the University of Chicago.
He Jamaican.
He got like he the man. You know what I mean? So everybody on the green side, we want you to welcome our brother, Mr. Dion Steele.
Yes.
Dion, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Good afternoon. How y'all doing?
We are awesome.
We're wonderful. We're wonderful. Listen, Dion, we want to kick this off. Before we kick it off, you all, like, share, comment. You're gonna love this section of the show. We want to relax, and we're going to cap this off with Dion's. We're gonna call it Steele's binging or binge recommendations for New Year's Day. Because you know y'all ain't going nowhere. But we're gonna kick off. We're gonna kick off this conversation before we get to what is it called?
What you talking about?
The wood, the African
the Nollywood.
Nollywood.
Yes.
Nollywood. Before we get to Nollywood. So Dion.
Yes, sir.
So you're an author. Man, I appreciate your love for intellect and the arts and a movie enthusiast. And there's a lot going on. I guess we want to start the conversation. I know that there was a little bit of buzz about what was happening with Soul. Soul is the new Disney movie out.
Yeah.
I believe Jamie Foxx
he
is the lead character.
Yeah.
And it's got some very well-intentioned thought and themes behind the movie, but there was still a little undertone about this black Disney character or a black character not actually remaining black. Can you talk a little bit about that and open up with that?
Oh yeah, definitely. So, I remember posting on Facebook, I was like, I was about to rain all over this movie Soul. But then at the end, I just said, okay, it was a great movie. And so the reason why I was about to rain on the movie is because I saw some very common tropes in that movie that was not edifying for a black male image or black people images in general. And, I got a lot of pushback. I saw a little side post that wasn't engaging directly, but a lot of posts were coming up saying, this was a beautiful movie. This was a great movie. How can you all critique it? You always are trying to find something wrong with everything that we see. But that wasn't the point. The point of the movie is that the movie was advertised to our community in particular as a movie about a black man, right? And it was called Soul. And what happened in the movie, or what you saw in the movie, that I think a lot of us rightfully became so attached to, was that there were black artists. They brought in a black writer 3 years into the project. I think they had been working on the project for about 5 years. And so it spoke to us. You know, I'm going through that man's midlife crisis right now. You know what I mean? So it was very personal for me to see a man who has dreams about becoming a musician, playing with one of the best bands that he ever saw, but then all of a sudden, suddenly his life is taken away from him, right? So he's literally dies. So from an emotional standpoint, just watching a black man die before he even reaches his goal, you know, it's kind of played out. It's treated often in film that he didn't reach his goal. But then magically, this brother cheats death. He cheats death. He fights for it. Yeah. So now we are rallying behind this individual because he's fighting for his life. He refuses to that moment. And if you look at, you know, what was happening in the real world at the time, he's in a coma, more or less.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's this therapy cat at his feet. He's in a coma. And symbolically, and I thought it was a beautiful way, the existential notions of the soul, the spirit, the drive, the will to live, all of these things were played out excellently within this context of this movie. So all of a sudden, he gets this second chance to live. But then the movie completely shifts away from us to achieve this particular goal. So the focus completely shifts to him in 22, who was played by Tina Fey.
Right.
So now the focus becomes really all about Tina Fey, because he starts to look at his life as worthless. He doesn't see the value in living for the day, but all of this appreciation of life, this vigor, even the engagement with his peers in the barbershop, all of this is played out through Tina Fey encapsulating his body at that particular moment. So when he finally reaches his goal to actually play, and then he starts to reflect and he thinks about the relationship that he's built with the Tina Fey character, what I saw at the end of this movie, and this is, you know, my wife and I were sitting here watching it and we were both about to explode. This man went back. He became the most villainous of all characters for her. If you go back and you look when they are kind of like in this, in the zone, if you will, he becomes the most evil character for her because he's the one who discouraged her the most. And then he gives his life up for her to live. That's the magical Negro trope. And we're going to get into that today, just talking about these particular tropes that are played where the black person comes in a savior capacity for a non-black character. Yep.
Okay, so hold that thought. We're going to come back because we also want you to break that definition down.
Oh, the magical Negro.
The magical Negro trope for the people.
Yes,
so what we're going to do is we're going to go to break and we're going to come back and we're going to explore that concept. We need you to like, comment, and share. You're on the green side with Sadeek and Cassiopeia. We'll see you after the break.
Shout out to the Bigs. They just wrapped up another edition of On the Soil. They talked to Eric Davis. I didn't know that brother was like all that cold.
I didn't either.
You know, Gino is the baseball expert, right? So whatever he say, that's how I'm rolling. So just hearing how he's been talking about him since they actually scheduled that interview made me like look like how cold was this dude? It's the shit.
Shout out to Don for the guest look.
Yeah, Don is the deal, G.
Guest look is outrageous.
Don is the plug.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing.
She is the plug.
Don is dead at the plug.
Gino and Mace. Why are we being left out over here?
Well, that's not really true.
Okay, well, break it down for me.
Oh, a wise guy, eh?
What'd she do? She set us up with Scoop.
Okay.
I've had Scoop's number for a while.
Salute.
But even like my I'm associated with, Don is like, boom. You know what I'm saying? So I be like, hey, let's get you on the show sometime. I'm like, yeah, let's set it up. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. Don like, hey, yo, I need you on the show tomorrow. Like, okay.
Sit your $5 down before I make change.
Like, it's different. It's different with the big little sis, man.
The last of the Gambinos or something.
For real. She about that action. So shout out to Don, man. Shout out to the Book of Don.
WIFTBPM.
Welcome back. You are on the green side of things with Sadeek and Cassiopeia.
What up? What up?
What up? And we are talking with Chicago icon Dion Steele.
Mm-hmm.
And we are talking
breaking it down.
Magical Negro tropes. And this concept. So Dion, first of all, define it for us, and let's go into the conversation, because I'm looking at the comments, and there are people who share these concerns about images in, I'm just going to say in media, because now today, to distinguish between movies and TV, it's all coming together and it's converging either on your phone, tablet, or TV at the house. So it's all media. So talk to us about this concept.
Yeah, so the magical Negro, the noble savage, sometimes it came in the form of the Uncle Tom or the Mammy, who had a lot of wisdom, mystical, magical powers. They weren't always they were always in a lower caste or a lower class than the protagonist of the tale, and they come in to save the day in order to help their story along. So if you really start to watch this toward the end, the focus really shifts to Tina Fey's character in this particular movie. Now, I actually went back and started digging into the production of this movie to see exactly why this was happening and what was going on. And I believe Brother Reginald Hutland had posted something the other day kind of in defense of the movie, because a lot of people noticed the same thing, right? And so they brought on, I forget what the brother name is. I think his name was Kemp Powers, probably 2 years ago, to kind of help finish off this story so the story could be told right. Initially, 22 was the protagonist of Soul. That was what the story was all about. It was about her. But later on, they decided to make it the focus of this jazz musician character, brought in Jamie Foxx and such. And of course, now he became the focus. Now, you made a great point when you talk about this historical media image of Black people, right? And so, that's kind of where my history background comes in, is because we've always been belittled and dehumanized, both in the scientific world and also in all of news, propaganda. The minstrel show is probably the most deadly tool that was used in order to justify the enslavement of Black people throughout our history. We're talking about for 400 years now. So this type of presentation of showing us as less than or not equal to, or, being useful, if you will, for the advancement of, white people, that's kind of been the norm in media. And this is what sells to them, and this is what makes them comfortable. So a lot of people, on another end, have been talking about, why is it that every time Disney or Pixar or what have you have a Black, that character becomes a frog, it becomes a spirit, it becomes a New York pigeon, right? A street bird, a rat bird, if you will. That was Will Smith in this last movie that they did. And a lot of times they say, well, we have to do these kind of things in order to make it digestible for our primary white audience, right? you know, in order for it to sell, because, you know, we're not selling black dolls or black toys or all of these other things, but we could sell this little spirit, or we could sell this little frog, and that can go well up in somebody's household versus having Tiana, an actual black Princess Barbie doll, sitting in a white girl's house. It's easier to come and sell them that frog. So, you know, this is kind of what the marketeers say, but it's using the same type of tropes. You know, we're talking about the big buck. We're talking about the Uncle Tom. We're talking about the Little Waynes and the Little Sambos, and all of these images keep reappearing in the storytelling. So, of course, when I saw the shift in Soul, what I saw was he became the wise uncle that was guiding her to make her appreciate life and to allow her to live. And he went as far as to go back to the zone, if you will, to come and save her so that she can experience life now that she had an appreciation for it. He was the only one capable of doing that. He is the magical Negro. Now, at that particular point, he was about to die. And had it not been for the spiritual figures that was in control of the afterlife, if you will, they decided to give him a second chance. And it kind of ended abruptly with him saying, oh, you know, now I'm going to appreciate this life that I had, right? Or this life that I, you know, have an opportunity to live. And there were so many different angles that they could have gone with in this story, because one of the realities, and I mean, you know, and this is me tying some personal thing to it, you may not always fulfill your particular dream or aspiration, but I would always tell my daughters, it's like, I don't care what you go to college for. Go to college for something that's going to make you happy. Do whatever's going to make you happy, but make sure you're able to teach someone else how to do that thing, and you can keep on doing what you do. And so obviously he had an impact on his students. So that story could have swiftly gone a whole nother direction with him saying, you know what, I could teach these kids how to do this music thing, and I could be the music instructor there and all of this other kind of stuff, and it would have been happily ever after.
But you know what, Dion? Let me, and yes, I don't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to, you talked about.
You got to do that sometimes for me, you know that.
You talked about the impact he had on his students, and what struck me and just kind of, you know, looking at it was, he didn't, in that conversation with one of his students, it wasn't him, it was Tina Fey that actually brought out the value of what the student was doing. It wasn't even him.
That's right. That's right. But, you know, and he it's like they played him in a sense. And I mean, we oftentimes get caught up. I put a post the other day saying, dig deep in order to elevate, because it might smell good, it might look good, it might taste good, all of these things. But, you know, you and I know this about food. You ingest it, it'll kill you.
Right.
And so in that regard, when you're looking at Soul as on the surface level, oh, it's a beautiful film. There's great things to see. I mean, I like the curls of the hairs that they had on the individual. I like hearing Felicia Rashad's majestic voice as his mother, kind of encouraging him and guiding him. I like the barbershop scene. But we watched this barbershop scene start to become, you know, it's something that's been personal to us. It's like, you know, it's like, you know, we used to talk about going to a certain store or the shop or whatever else. It's that space, that meetup space, that private meetup space where Black men get together to share ideas and all of these things. But they've gotten hip to that. And they know that it works on our heartstring. I mean, and, you know, we could talk about this from a political standpoint. How many ads were utilized during this campaign on the Democratic Party to come and push, hey, I'm going to the barbershop because we need to get these Black men vote. Black men ain't coming, we're going to go to the barbershop. So now we're going to put the barbershop scene where, you know, this man didn't even know who was cutting his hair for so many years. But Tina Fey did. She knew how to tap in. This man was a waste in this community through some people's eyes. But all of a sudden, everybody was tuned in when Tina Fey came into his body and took control and guided that Black soul. So in order for that Black soul to become relevant, Tina Fey had to be the one to do it. So that's the kind of stuff that we have to be mindful of. You know, when we're taking in media, when we're watching certain things, how are we being portrayed? What's the ultimate message behind it? And they had pity on him and let him live.
So I'm definitely on the overall arching themes that we see occur during Disney movies, Pixar movies, Hollywood. Period. I definitely agree that those tropes, are consistent. I would say though, without unless you're digging into the actual cast, we don't know what Tina Fey is. Or what race that she'll become. We have not a clue. They don't show that. So what I look at it more of a spirit soul who does not have its body yet, helps him, but he helps her at the same time. And I didn't really see it. I have that, that lens that we can, to start digging deeper into these films, or that ability to dig deeper and see all of that. But on this one, I did not take it in that way. And I was looking for it in the beginning because I had the same concerns when I saw the ads for Soul and then I saw him become this spirit and I was like, oh crap, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Now another black character, we're going to lose him and you're going to see him at the beginning and then maybe at the end it's mostly going to be these little glowy things that will prevail. But that didn't happen. We constantly saw him come back and forth between the spirit world and now. And I also think that he saw for himself, although there was an influence from Tina Fey's character and also I don't even know what you called the guides, right?
Yeah, the spirit guys that were all named, what were they all? Jerry,
Jerry,
and Jerry.
Right. But those spirit guides were, an influence. But I think that there ended up, although, yes, it was Tina Fey's voice that learned more about, the barber than, he initially did, but it was inside of him as well. Like he started to see, he remembered conversations from before Tina Fey came about with his father, with his mother, with the students that he influenced before she came to pass. And they showcased that part as well. So it actually just, to me, made him look even larger than life as a black man. And being able to see, there's something bigger than, of course, just my talent. Like my talent is not necessarily my destiny. My destiny has something to do with something far greater. And for him, it ends up being him being this amazing teacher to these kids. So I get it. It was a testing ground, but for me, all in all, it ended up playing out very well.
So that's where I would push back because for him, it didn't end with him necessarily. Initially, he ended up, after seeing and realizing all of that, he was willing to give his life up and just die. Because he was actually getting ready. He was getting ready to die.
So,
but then the God, if you will, decided to let him live.
To me, that's the most African in him, right? So death is a very European. We have a very European finite concept. For him, it was like, you know what? I am everything. I can release now because what he was only holding on to this talent. And actually, once he played that concert and realized, damn, that's all. That's it. I did it. And now what's next? And he was able to see something bigger. I think that is the most African of him that actually was able to release. And from that, his blessing then came. And I believe that comes with when you really tap into your destiny. Sometimes we think, God, you got to sacrifice this. You got to sacrifice that. We had that conversation.
Right. So he was doing the self-work.
He was doing that self-work and he finally let go of everything so that now the destiny can actually come in and do what it's supposed to do. But you got to get to that point first. So there was something very powerful in that piece for me.
I love that. Yeah.
And I see that, and I can appreciate your perspective on that. But again, for me, it's him accepting death. At that point, it's him being willing to die, more so for her. That's what I saw. And he was blessed, if you will. He was blessed by the Terrys and the Jerrys because he was such a good guy that he was given another chance at his life. And this time he said, I'm going to appreciate it now.
Yeah,
but he still hadn't reached the notion of fulfillment. So again, and you know what, I'll take that one directly to this whole discussion of the Black Panther, since we in this
let's do this. Let's do this.
We got a break.
Hold that, Dion, because I'm loving this, because I definitely want to go into the Black Panther. Let's do that. We're going to take this break. We're also going to pass a collection plate, because the brother said that Cassie was preaching, and we want to take advantage of Cassie preaching. Because the sister was getting in there. So look, we need you to like, comment, and share. We've been talking soul with brother Dion Steele, and on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about Black Panther, right? And we're going to unearth some things there. Woo! So again, like, comment, share. We're getting into it after the break. You're on the green side of things with Sadeek
and Cassiopeia.
We'll see you soon.
Are you curious to explore the intellectual currents that channel our thoughts and frame our reality? Have you ever meditated for relaxation and accidentally discovered the universe in the process? These matters and many more you may never have even thought of will be yours to explore as you come with me into Muwakil's world. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1. Right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
WIFTBPM.
This is a Black Diamond production.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. So you're on the green side of things with Sadeek
and Cassiopeia,
and we're happy to have you here. So we need you to come on in here, come around the lunch table, re-engage with us. We just got through talking soul, and I think that the perspectives that we presented, I think are relevant, and definitely depending on point of view, where you can really see or really appreciate the themes in the movie, and also, I think we have to be aware, and not necessarily let our guard down. I think that mainstream media is really portraying us in the best or most positive lights, but also be maybe a little more holistic and understanding where we're headed and control the narrative.
Come on. That's what this is all about.
Yeah, controlling the narrative. So we want to jump into soul. We've been talking about these characters. Dion, I know you've been ready to kind of kick off this Black Panther discussion, and we just want to say much love and peace in the ancestral realm and the spirit world to our brother Chadwick. So let's have this Black Panther discussion, where it's headed, and just, where it started, what it was, and where it's headed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. Okay, so, again, sometimes it may seem that I'm being emotionless, right? And I'll take that because, I understand that a lot of times we're driven by our emotions, our spirituality and such, and that magic that even was represented in Soul. When you see him entering these realms and whatnot, that's a spiritual thing, and we connect to spirituality strong. But as we connect to spirituality, I mean, we were going to talk about this. Let's talk about hero, the word hero. We're going to just use the word hero first and foremost, the superhero. Superhero comes from the word hero. You've heard it in the root word Heru, right? And Heru is the son of the ultimate god in the Egyptian, ancient African spirituality, Awusar, the god of the dead, god of the living, god of life, right? His son was Heru. His son came to earth in order to avenge his father's death. And he then became the Pharaoh. He then became the all-powerful Pharaoh who, defended the people. He was considered their savior. From a linguistic standpoint, and I'm going the long route, but I have to. From a linguistics standpoint, that is the same title, Cairo, Heru. If you look at the literature, that's where the terminology of Christ comes from. It is the savior. So we're talking about this superhero, all-knowing, all-wise, godlike, divine, right? If we go to every superhero, for the most part, that Marvel has created, when you got Iron Man, he's on my wall. I think y'all can see Hulk behind me on the wall here. all of these superheroes, Spider-Man, are scientists. They're considered some of the smartest men on Earth. You got Doctor Strange, who's also a wizard, mystic, doctor, scientist. Right. The only character that you have that is very popular in the Marvel trope, which is Captain America, he's just a good old Brooklyn boy. Right? He is someone who is patriotic and wants to fight for his country, and he has a good heart. Right. They inject him with a super serum in order to make him godlike or superhero-like, right? Right. First Black superhero created in their context was the Black Panther. The Black Panther is the wealthiest individual on Earth in the comic books. He is a scientist, one of the highest intelligence in the land. Not even when they talk about him in the comic books, a lot of the different, I think there's Reed Richards, who's a scientist, Mr. Fantastic. All of these superheroes are scientists. They want him to join this group called the Illuminati because they're him, Professor X, all of them are the wisest, right? So we finally get Black Panther in the movies, right? His father dies, what happens? He's out to avenge his death. Classic story of Horus hero, right? He avenges his death, he comes into being, he fights, and that's a whole nother story with Killmonger. That's a great dynamic. That's one of my favorite movies. The dynamic between the fantastic African and the African American and his struggle of identity and his place in the world in that context. That's a great story right there. But Chadwick Boseman played Black Panther. He played him well. He epitomized the character. But the character, I believe, should not die. The character T'Challa has no reason to be dead within the context of those movies. You understand what I'm saying? When our youth saw Black Panther, they saw a flawless character for the most part. The biggest flaw that Black Panther had was that his family and his tradition of Wakanda was to never open its doors to the outside world. What they looked at the outside world as was colonizers. That's what they called them. They called them colonizers because they looked at the destruction of the outside world on every part of Africa and every part of the world as colonizers, so they did not open their doors. That was the biggest flaw that he saw with his father. That was the biggest flaw that, made him say, you know what, I'm going to do more to help the community. So that was the transformation that was needed for him to become even greater superhero. So you got all of these kids. I could come and pull across my room right now and I got my grandson a full Black Panther suit because I want him to see that particular character. That is a powerful character. But now, even prior to his death, they were already talking about writing him out of the Marvel Universe.
Really?
Prior to his death, yes. He was really on tap for 3 movies with Marvel, right? And then they were possibly going to extend the contract based on what was achieved in that movie. That movie was the first Marvel movie of a single cast member, right? Yeah. This wasn't an ensemble film in the sense of all of the superheroes in one. Right. That was the first movie to cross $1 billion in earnings.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because that movie accurately, and with all of the emotional strings that we're talking about, it captivated audiences across the world.
It did.
People saw themselves in that particular movie.
There's no doubt about that.
You even had white kids dressing up as Black Panther because, that character, that story, the way it was told, the way it was talking about nation building, the way it was talking about tradition, the way it was talking about culture, all of these things resonated across the world. And now we're not going to have that particular hero anymore. And again, I am very sensitive to Chadwick Boseman's death. And I understand that some people are going to say, well, from a marketing standpoint, you can't do this, you can't do that. But with their plans on the movie and everything else, some of the things that I've heard, like some people say, well, you know what? You all are disagreeing because you all don't want to see Shuri as Black Panther. For all of us comic book aficionados, we know that Shuri becomes Black Panther. Shuri becomes Black Panther because Black Panther is in a coma. He's, I think Submariner or Prince Namor whoops him up real bad, gets him in a coma. Shuri takes over. But Shuri, once he, recovers and comes back to do his thing or whatnot, Shuri becomes almost like a goddess, if you will, much more powerful than the character that you've seen portrayed.
Right.
And so when we're talking about writing a story and story development and transitioning, we see Shuri as a little teen girl who's kind of silly and hasn't gone through any training to be in that particular role at this particular moment.
Right.
Now, that movie hasn't been made, so we're speculating. But what I'm speaking on more strongly was that intentionally, Marvel had no intention with that particular story. Now, in contrast, we have Captain America. And when I'm talking about Captain America now, I'm not talking about Steve Rogers. I'm talking about Anthony Mackie. Because in the last Endgame, Captain America handed his shield over to Anthony Mackie.
He did.
And we watched Anthony Mackie from his introduction. I enjoyed seeing that particular movie. But Anthony Mackie had one line in that movie that resonated more than anything else to me. He said something along the lines of, whatever you want us to do, Captain, I'm with you. I'm going to do whatever you want us to do. Right? Yeah. And it's classic sidekick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So Dion, let's do this because I gotta keep up with my producer who's looking at me like, let's break it. So let's go to break. We're gonna hang in there with us. We're gonna come back. We want to explore the handoff in Captain America. We need you all to like, comment, and share. And I'm gonna, after we get through with Captain America, I'm gonna switch the energy up just a little bit. Because I want to ask you about Tyler Perry and those images for Black people.
And I got to get to this whole aspect of Chadwick Boseman and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's something real significant in there. But keep going.
Good. We got a lot for you. So listen, like, comment, share. We're on with Dion Steele, Chicago local icon, movie enthusiast, and just all around the man. You're on the green side of things with Sadeek and Cassiopeia. We'll see you in a second.
I'm blessed.
Church Chicago's Power Hour. I'm your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Keys, TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
You got an inspirational word for today?
Oh, man, I'll be honored. Giving honor to God.
Hey, man, on Sunday morning, it's early, so we got to give honor to God.
Yes, sir.
The good word for today is don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes in our life, in our walk, in our days, in our journeys, we find a way to just worry about so many things. Yeah. And we just want to encourage you today that those worries is God's responsibility. Mm-hmm. It's God's responsibility, because at the end of the day, what we worry about, most times we can't handle it.
Yes.
And we would agree together, we can't handle it, so we have to give it to God. That's his responsibility. Mm-hmm. And our job is to simply believe.
Yes.
Simply
yes.
believe. When we believe, the Bible says all things are possible.
Come on through here.
I better leave that alone.
Preaching already.
You feel it? So be anxious for nothing. Even the Bible says don't worry about anything. In Matthew 6:33 it says don't worry about anything, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other things be added unto you. So we're here to encourage you.
WIFTV PM.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, I want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. Please. Please don't leave me now. Please don't leave me now. Please. From glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha, oh, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around.
We back green side of things. It's Sadeek and Cassiopeia.
Yeah,
Dion,
I'm sweating in here now.
You
too cool? Are you one of them? Are you one of them just be on the wall that just watch everybody else dance?
Let me tell you something.
Now, Dion, that's his DJ equipment back there. That's the DJ. You know, she was just
okay.
She was just commenting on you had the cool affect.
You
know, while we was in here
cool.
cutting up,
We
you
up
was
here
super
lying.
cool. It's all good though. It's all good. So listen, we have been through Soul. We have talked a little Black Panther versus Captain America.
Yeah.
These black images, and so you were talking about and people. Let me just say this, Dion. People are loving your dive into this historical treatment of these storylines that have been developed for decades, right? And that we're seeing come to life on the screen, and how we interact with them as melanated people based on life experience. So I just want to give you that shout out because people are really paying attention and vibing with it. So talk to us about this handoff, this Black Captain America, or this this handoff of the shield. That's where we left off.
And so you were mentioning it about, like some of the things that I was looking forward to seeing. I'm really concerned and looking to see how they're going to develop this storyline with him transitioning to be the Captain America. Because I think one line when they show the new previews of it, they talk about the history of the shield is complicated. And it is very complicated because there was a series written in the comics called The Truth, where they talked about all of these black males that were being experimented on in order to replicate the super serum formula. And several of the individuals that took this particular formula, it was almost written as if it was a TV experiment or just the whole notion of experimentation taking place on black bodies. So it's a very timely story to some of the concern that our community rightfully have about the medical industry and some of the experimentation that was even asked to be done on African continent with our individuals for, COVID and such. So in this particular story, I think you all remember Carl Lumbly. He played Mantis on this little Fox TV series. He was a superhero.
Yes, I remember.
I didn't watch it.
I think he will be Isaiah Bradley. He will be this character that survived the experimentation. And he survived the experimentation, and he actually donned the Captain America suit while he was in battle against the Nazis and things of that nature. So, there's a long history of him in the comic books. He had offspring. He had different versions of Captain America, Patriot, other superheroes that come from it. And if they play the story right, they could almost get how would I say this? They would almost get a more patriotic lean of a Killmonger, if you will, because he would be an African American superhero in that regard. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of complicated.
Yeah.
Because it's like, where does this patriotism lie? Right? And how do you balance that with the ills that continue to take place, particularly with black male bodies? Right. So, when I'm looking at superheroes and I'm looking at the characterization, particularly we're talking mostly about black males, I think they're going to be doing a lot of better things for black women in the superhero category or whatnot. You got WandaVision coming out in a second. They're going to have Tiana Paris, and she was the original Captain Marvel. She was the original female Captain Marvel, so she's going to be playing that character. That's a big swing. Shuri will transition eventually into the Black Panther, so that's going to be a big swing because they had her contextualized as a genius level scientist like most superheroes are.
Right.
There's a young lady who will be taking over the Iron Man role called Ironheart. I think the young lady, she played in I can't remember what the movie was, but
that's gonna be a tough one for me.
That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting. So So Dion, I want to
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. This is tough. First of all, let me just say this to the audience. This we're gonna bring Dion back.
Oh yeah.
Because this could go on, and we are time challenged in here.
Yeah, he's super thorough and deep.
But I mean, and like we're connecting. The audience is listening, and we got people making comments. You bringing up comic book series that I didn't even know existed because I'm not an enthusiast like this. But I just want to say I want to get to Cassie's question or her thought pattern concerning Chadwick and Ma Rainey's Black Bottle, right? I want to get to what you were bringing up about that and get Dion's thoughts.
So have you seen it, Dion?
I did.
Okay.
I like it.
No. Yes, it's great.
Right.
It is awesome. I love it. I'm bringing this other portion up in regards to the dialogue or the monologue that Chadwick does around God. And pretty much him cursing God. And it puts me in the feeling of Heath Ledger when he played the Joker. Whereas he dug so deep into a dark character that it, and I could be reaching, that it affected his own life. There's something about it for me that felt like the way that he curses God is so deep. It's words that I can't even repeat, and I wouldn't dare not repeat.
Got it.
So much, and it just kind of gives me an eerie feeling.
Did you feel that he was coming out of his knowing? In hindsight, do you feel that he was coming from his own personal? He was tapping into that.
Not necessarily his own personal, but it's kind of one of those things that being careful about the words that you speak, even if you are speaking them as an actor.
Got you.
And what they can do for you. I mean, they talked about it. There's even been soap opera stars that they play the character so often, and they've gone so deep that they were the character in real life and had to get, therapy and everything. And like I said, he speaks about death all throughout this. I'm trying to think, was it a film or it was a film? So throughout that movie, he speaks about death, and that's always really interesting to me when you have an actor talk about something and then they pass on.
Got it, Dion. What's your take on it?
I think he dug deep, but I think that role got really personal for him. I felt like I think he channeled where he was. Like,
that's what I'm thinking.
Me and some of the peers, we had started recasting him for movies because Chadwick was looking sick for a while.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He wasn't looking well for a while. And I'm sure obviously when he was filming this, he wasn't well. And they spoke about it. They said at one point, I don't know if this was the particular scene, but he was like, when one of these scenes, he let it all out and the cast lost it. Every brother around him, they just, burst into tears because they could feel the pain that was coming forth from him. Now, it's interesting enough that he had given up. He was the producer of 21 Bridges. And, his co-star, I forget the female actress name, but she was not receiving the proper funding for the movie. And so he gave up part of his salary for her.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
Yeah. And, a lot of folks don't hear about that story, but he gave up part of his salary for her. And it was a great deed. I get it. Right. But, he also, I think that was part of him giving it all up. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, just even in the context of you saying accepting death.
Yeah.
Right. This whole context of him accepting death, it's part of the spirituality. And, this me going into the divinity part now, is that everyone wants eternal life.
Right.
Most people are looking for eternal life. Even when you start talking about burying someone's body, you're not burying them as if you're tossing them away and that's it. Right. You're burying them in their finest threads with their finest memories, because your belief is that you will live on eternally.
Yes.
Right. And so depending on what spiritual angle you're talking about, this might mean heaven for some, but some people feel like the fulfillment of God's promise is taking place here upon earth, in this soil, in this ground, with this wind. And so many people are trying to prolong life as much as they can by living righteously, right? That's part of the context of us living right, is for us to continue to live. And as we are living, and I ain't trying to preach a little bit, but as we are living,
we're gonna pull out the collection plate for you too.
This is real. As we live, we're supposed to be giving back to others to build, so that when our time and moment do leave the face of this earth, because some people consider when we leave, we gone, but you have left such a legacy behind you.
Yes.
Right? You have put so much in the ground, so much in the soil,
compost.
so much. Yes, sir. You put so much into everybody around you that at this particular point, you are living eternally. So as long as I'm up in the memories of those around me, right? Even just the whole notion with Chadwick, now he is the banner of this empire, if you will, at Disney, right? He's a banner on this Marvel tag because of his impact. You have a legacy. And so you live on eternally in that regard, as long as you did right upon the face of the earth. So I don't care what your religion is or how you do it, everybody got to do right. And coming back into the whole context of the movie, we don't control our images. So when these images are negative, wrong, off, or we have to debate about whether or not a man or a woman that was black was placed in the screen properly, in order for that image or that moment to resonate for the well-being of our community, if we ain't controlling it, oftentimes it's going to be flawed. That being said, I'm sorry, Brother Chauncey, Sylvie's Love was a great movie.
Sadeek.
Oh, you said Sylvie's who? You said what? Sylvie's what? Sylvie's Love? Oh my God. I love it. That's like one of my favorite movies, period. I just watched it like this weekend. I loved it. Oh my God.
So we've got to do this. So we have comments.
We got to talk all day.
We have comments like, you got to bring Brother Steele back. So before we do any breaks, we're actually going to prolong it just a little bit, just a couple minutes. We're going to prolong the break because there's two things I want you to do, Dion. Before we get to, because I want your top 10 binge picks for New Year's Day. And then before you do that, I want you to agree to come back on the green side of things so we can continue this intellectual, cultural discussion about these black images in the media. Will you agree to that? I got you.
You got it.
It's hard. So we'll get our agent inside of. We'll have him talk to your agent. We'll do this. So let's do this. So we're prolonging the break, Dion, and I know I've been waiting on it, and we mentioned it at the top. We want to get your top 10 picks to binge on New Year's Day, right? So if you're going to party tonight or staying at home in the living room with your own bottle or whatever you're doing, when you wake up, you don't have to go to work. You're at home all day. What should we be pushing on Netflix? For some people, throwing in the VCR, DVRing, whatever it's called today. What do we binge on New Year's Day?
And with or without an explanation?
Give us a brief explanation of why. So give us the movie or the series and tell us why.
Okay, Django Unchained.
Are you starting at 10 and working down to 1, or is it no order? You start at 1 and working to 10.
No order. No order. I'm just going to 10.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Django Unchained.
Okay, that was the, digging the crates on that. Okay,
go ahead. Django Unchained.
That's the Nat Turner movie that I always wanted to see.
Okay.
Black Dynamite, perfect parody, black created of the blaxploitation genre. Brown Sugar. Today is my anniversary with my lady. That movie epitomizes what a friendship looks like when you share common interest and then you find love in the end. Life.
Got it.
I thought that was a perfect story. Great comedians kind of talking about, the wrongful incarceration of black men, but at the same time, they made humor and made a way out of their life. And you kind of got an intimate portrayal of black men in the struggle in that sense.
I'm that baby pappy.
Okay. Empire Strikes Back. That's going to always be my favorite Star Wars movie. It's personal to me. I love the dynamic between father and son in that movie and him finding his purpose in the world. Black Panther, even when we start talking about the Black Panther Killmonger dynamic, Dave Chappelle Block Party. That was like I was invited to my best friend's crib to hang out with all of the homies that I wanted to hang out with. So Dave Chappelle Block Party. As far as what's out on the tube right now, if you haven't seen Jingle Jangle, I think it's the perfect holiday movie. Black created, black representation. I thought it was great. Small Axe, Lovers Rock. When I saw Small Axe, Lovers Rock, that was the second episode in that particular series. I was expecting to see the same type of conflict and, the oppression and everything else. And I was absolutely shocked when it just turned into like the best party ever. And it was about black love. I love that movie. I already said Sylvie's Love. And then there was a movie called Yardie. And I know you had mentioned, Cassiopeia, you had mentioned Nollywood. And my wife and I, we've been binging on all of these British Caribbean films. And Yardi was a good one, kind of talking about the culture of the DJs and everything else, and how that came to London town and influenced their music and everything. So I thought that was pretty good as well.
Dope.
Okay, Dion. So just without explanation, run through the list one more time. We got, because we're gonna have to post it. We got people asking for yours list, and just for the record, this is Steele's list of movies and TV to binge on New Year's Day. So just run the list one more time, starting at Django.
Django Unchained, Black Dynamite, Brown Sugar, Life, Empire Strikes Back, Black Panther, Dave Chappelle's Block Party, Jingle Jangle, Small Axe, Lovers Rock, Sylvie's Love, and Yardi.
Spell Yardi.
Yardie.
Okay. Yeah, then. All right, cool.
Got it. So, I wanna leave this topic for next time because I have some questions. So there's appreciation for. I want to explore the balance in Tyler Perry's art form. And what I mean by that is, I definitely believe there's a place for it. But I'm not sure if it is the theatrical version of gangster rap. And what I mean by that is, we talk about the fact that the beats, it reflects life in the hood, but it portrays this negative image. And is it poisoning as much as it is telling the truth? And I think that Tyler Perry is telling the truth, but is it got us stuck in that Negro dancing? I want to talk about the balance of that, and I don't want to go into it today, but so again, I'm saying balance because I don't want to be, just throw it out. I mean, he's creating jobs. He has done a wonderful job of creating a place for Black actors to exist.
He's made his
in
own
movies and television. He certainly created his own space. I just want to explore the balance within the space. The brother that's loud and buffoonish, the
dressing
soft,
up as a woman,
and not just him, but even the I think it's I can't think of the actor's real name, but I think he's married to Tamala Mann or right there. They play husband and wife in there, but his buffoonish type.
They play father and daughter. They are husband and wife.
They are husband and wife, but his buffoonish type of acting and
Mr. Brown.
Yes. Oh my God. The TV show. Yeah. Somebody said shucking and jiving. Brother Dean out there. So that's exactly. So I want to explore that balance. I want to talk that with you, but definitely we don't have time to do that.
Sister
today.
Asabi Dean, he can't see your whole face.
I'm sorry.
Yes, he just sees the Dean on there. That's sister right there.
Okay. All right. Sister, my apologies. I'm going to wipe my glasses off. Oh yeah, that's a sister out there. But I want to talk about those things, Dion. And before we go, we've got a couple minutes because I want you to. I'm scared, and I got to tell you why I'm scared.
Okay.
Coming to America is one of my favorite coming of age movies. I was a teenager. Yeah, Eddie Murphy was at the height of his career, I would say, at that point, between movies and stand-up. And I'm afraid that the sequel is going to be hot garbage. I'm so afraid, and I know we can save that for another day, but I am on pins and needles. We've got, how long do we have before it comes out, right? Is it like March or something like that?
March.
Yeah, I am on. I saw the what is it? The trailer. Gee, I am so afraid.
You nervous?
I am nervous because
we're gonna watch it anyway.
We're gonna watch it anyway. I got that.
Yeah,
we're gonna watch it, but I am so afraid Everybody's like, no worries, Sadeek.
It's a
Sheikah's
sequel.
like, no fear. But I'm being transparent, right?
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
So if nobody else, I get it. All the positives. I know.
No. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's a sequel, so that's like almost a damn near guarantee. But we're not going for that.
We're not going for that?
Yeah, it's nostalgia. It's connection. It's familiarity. Like, we're going to give it a pass. It might not go on your shelf. You might not watch it again.
Okay. Okay.
But we all going to watch it. They're going to make $1 billion and be good.
Okay. We're going to watch it.
Something.
So, Dion, look, tell the people where they can find you, what you are up to at this particular moment. You got one more question.
One more question.
Well, let's do this first.
Okay.
Cassie, what's your question?
My question is about, we talk about all of the way that Black images are portrayed by white industry.
Right.
Right. I'm a big proponent, though, of course, us doing our own. But
right.
sometimes we're very hard on the films that we produce, right? Because, of course, we're not coming with all the funds that they have. This is, to be honest, cinema is a white thing.
Right.
They do that shit, right? So when we're coming into it without all of the resources, it doesn't always come off that well, and we don't support it and give ourselves the opportunity to grow into that space, to become powerhouses. So I say that to say, have you ever tuned into Black and Sexy TV or Quayle TV? Because those are platforms kind of like Netflix, but Black based. It's all us.
Got it.
It's all us. And I watch them all. I watch Black and Sexy back and forth. I love it. It's it's independent, but I think they're extremely creative on how they produce their films with such low budgets, and they connected this whole world. So have you ever even heard of it? Heard of it, Dion?
I have heard. I've heard of some of the networks. I think that we are trying to be more independent than I think we should be.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's one of those things, Sadeek knows that, I'm a small business owner. And, when you're competing in a market where you got a lot of giants around you, you have to do what you do extremely well. What you do, it has to be exceptional because it's always going to be critiqued. And I think that, kind of conversation about Tyler Perry, there's a reason why he's extremely wealthy. And it's the same reason we started this conversation off with, is that there are certain tropes and archetypes that are used to represent Black people that have been selling for 100, 200, 300 years.
Right.
And so he includes those because he knows that it's going to make money. And so sometimes when we're concerning ourselves first and foremost with making the largest profit, not even necessarily being a sustainable studio, but when we're making the largest profit, we're willing to risk it to do what we know is going to sell, right? And sometimes you'll be surprised because that, again, when you all get a chance to watch that Small X Lover Rock, they're in one room filming a party the entire time. That's what the entire movie is out. There's probably one scene outside, one or two scenes outside. And it's an excellent film. And it's an excellent representation of culture. And I will guarantee you will be in your feelings and you will feel your vibe and you'll start dancing when you watch this movie. And that budget had to be, I think I could have probably pulled it off with my iPhone.
Wow.
Seriously.
Wow.
And I mean, that's kind of how we got to think about our creativities. We got to be very mindful and to the point about what we're trying to represent and whether or not it's going to resonate.
Well, definitely check out Black and Sexy TV. Just do that for me and get back with me.
And we got the link. We got the link in the thread, and that'll be for our next conversation. Dion, again, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me here on Facebook all the time. You want to connect with me. I'm also, you can find us on Heritage Cafe on Instagram, and we're constantly posting about our movement there. COVID has been a real problem, but we're working it through. Also, you'll see me around. I'll be doing some projects with I don't want to say, but I'll be working with city colleges this semester, reaching out to a lot of families and trying to spread the word about African American history. So
I love it. I love it, and we can bring that out on the green side. And I just want to give this shout out to my brother's also a vegan. He's plant-based. We'll tell that story later.
Come on.
We got to go to break, but I just want to say thank you to my man, local icon, Dion Steele. He will be back with us. You're on the green side of things. Need you to like, share, comment on what's in it for the Black People Media. Catch you after the break.
Yes.
All right, love. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them.
Be like me, said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that one.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
About National Join a Positive Black Organization Day, because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
WIFTV PM.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I just, we always do that. 'Cause the music, Jared having us rocking in there. It's like, welcome back.
Yes.
Welcome back. You are on the green side of things with Sadeek.
And Cassiopeia.
And we just got through with this intellectual, cultural dive into
black images,
film, media.
Yeah, man, it was dope. I mean, Brother Dion Steele was hitting hard, heavy, thorough.
Man,
I loved it.
Heavy hitter. I mean, that was just that was wonderful because I got more questions.
Right? There's so many questions. The whole, media is damn near everything when it comes to life, because media hits you so many ways. Media is your TV, media is your phone, media is your radio station, media is the billboards that you see, media is the magazines that you get, media is a part of the books that you read. Media is everywhere.
Everything. And I think the images. So one of my favorite quotes is, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, what are 500 years of the wrong images worth?
That's deep. That's deep.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, what are 500 years of the wrong images worth?
Yeah, that's super deep, man. That's crazy.
So just something to think about, and another shout out to Dion Steele. And to his whole family. I think he had the whole family watching today.
That's what's up.
I definitely and shout out to just his entire family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his wife just got his back. They're entrepreneurs together.
I love it.
And doing the plant-based, community-driven thing. I love it. And so just on the green side. That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Well, they got to join the January. I mean, although they're vegans already, they should still jump into the January jump off, you know.
Yeah, they can do
ambassadors.
That. They can do that. They can do that. Help spread the
awesome.
word. You know, so this whole new year. So we had to do something. I wanted to do something that was New Year driven.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to do it again. We wanted to stay sustainable. We wanted to stay natural. We wanted to do something cultural.
Mm-hmm.
And so the sister that we are bringing on is, I want to continue. So Soul, right?
Yes.
This movie about alignment, finding your
destiny.
purpose, your destiny, your value, right? So this sister, she is what's called an accomplishment coach.
Okay.
Not a life coach.
Okay.
An accomplishment coach.
All right.
And I want to dig into that.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about, so our New Year's conversation. So we need you to like, comment, and share. We want to talk about living on purpose and living with intent.
Yeah.
In 2021.
Ooh, come on. Come on. I love that type of talk.
Yeah, because instead of being victims and hapless and we're inside. Okay, so the pandemic is here,
for that.
right? And you've got a small segment of society that's preparing for life in spite of and moving through it and preparing themselves. What are we doing other than just the clock is going to change at midnight?
Absolutely. I love that. It is time to kill the victim.
Right.
And I don't mean go out and harm anybody. What I'm saying is, right, the victim inside of us, right? Something happened to you. What you going to do about it?
Right, exactly.
What are you going to do about it?
What are we going to do about it?
Are you going to take control?
And how do we, so how do we live intentionally?
Absolutely.
How do we live on purpose with purpose?
Yeah. Come on. Say that again.
How do we live on purpose with purpose?
I like that.
How do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we do that? And so we're going to get some keys from my dear sister, another Chicago icon, because they're all icons.
Of course.
I mean, we got some heavy hitters.
Of course.
Just in the network.
Come on.
In the network. So again, we want you to like, we want you to comment, we want to share. Do we want to do a small break? Let's do it. Yeah, let's do a small break, and then we're going to come back with Miss Sheila Collins.
All right now.
All right, she is an accomplishment coach.
Look at Sadeek.
Certified.
I think he run you a little
international.
bit. Just kidding.
I love it. So listen, we're going to take a small break, and when we come back, we're going to get to living with intent and purpose, and how do we do that? We're going to get some tools from a master. We'll see you on the other side.
Hey y'all, this is Salim Muwakil from Muwakil's World. In case you missed the last discussion, this is what you missed.
There was a time when there was a large-scale mythology that African people had no endurance. We were only good for sprinting.
Right.
And that was our forte. Other than that, we were useless in marathon races. Establishing your patrimony on the land. If you bury the dead, that means that this land is forever in your family.
Who are our ancestors, really? We are the living ancestors to a whole genealogical line going back hundreds of thousands, millions of years that we carry within us living today. Everyone who preceded us. However, that conception took place, whether it was violently, with rape, or whatever the case, but we are them living today.
That's why it's important to understand our capacity, man. Our capacity is unlimited. We have unlimited potential.
Absolutely.
So make sure you tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
What's up, good people?
Y'all go accept my request on the page so I can do the survey.
Why would we do that?
I'm trying to do the survey.
Why would we let you in? Why would we let you on the... You talking about the Iswiz Book Club page? No,
we're going to let you in, Ron. You need to read. I'm with that. I'm definitely put you on.
Somebody please let Ron in the Iswiz. Is it? I thought it was a public page.
I don't know. I don't run it.
I don't know who run it. You got to talk to Shannon and Robin and...
You say what? Y'all group private like it's something special or something.
First of all, it is something special.
Okay? There's something special, okay?
You know what I'm saying?
Then you gonna talk it again. Don't get no punishment again now.
Right. They already came in there like, look at her being nice to Ron today. It wasn't gonna last.
He always messes.
I think Adrian came in like, for now, like just for a little while.
Just for a little while.
Just for a little while. Just for a little while. Somebody let that man in the page. Somebody let that man in the page, Robin. Please let him in. I said what I said. Herb 2, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
WIFTVPM.
What's up? We are back on the green side on Wasn't It for the Black People Media.
Hey.
Yes, this is
Sadeek.
And I'm Cassiopeia. And we have been talking about some amazing things today. We had on Dion Steele talking about black images in Hollywood and the industry. We keep, and now we're kind of moving, we're transitioning into life.
Right.
And
soul.
And still soul, but in life.
Right.
And so we're bringing on an amazing guest. She used to be one of my former boss.
Oh, she's boss lady.
Yes, at the Chicago State University, but she had to spread her wings and fly even higher than being an upper administrative position at the Chicago State University into just doing her own thing, and she is doing it well. Sheila Collins is an International Coach Federation and accomplishment coaching certified coach. She coaches individuals who are looking to move their careers to the next level while simultaneously creating balance.
That's a job in itself.
Yes, it is. She is especially adept at working with those who have too much to do and not enough time. Sheila, I need to get you on my calendar, okay? Her client roster includes ambitious professionals and educators from the likes of Google, Eli Lilly, Alliance Global Corporate and Specialty, University of California, Los Angeles, Baylor University, McMaster University in Canada, and others. I need y'all to put y'all virtual hands together for Sheila Collins.
Yay.
Hey, how are you guys?
Dalisa is Sheila. Sheila is Dalisa. No fool me. No fool me. You remember that? I think I've done that to you before.
Yes.
Sheila dancing to it. Sheila like, oh, yeah.
How are you? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the green side.
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
So, how you gonna fix my life?
Wait a minute. Wait. We don't have enough time for that.
Ooh.
Shade.
Right, the shade.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so really, let's start here. What is accomplishment coaching?
Yeah.
Well, basically, I'm a life coach, right? And so at the end of the day, a life coach is someone who helps you realize the dreams that you have by working with you. So I'm not a therapist. Like, I'm not trying to fix anybody. I'm not looking at the past to figure out why you hate your mother or what happened in 1972 as to why you always pick the same kind of guy. That's not my field house. I don't try to do that. But
so
what a coach will do...
She can't help you, Cassie.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, something else.
Go ahead, Sheila.
No, but what I do as a coach is we work together on the things that you bring about what you want to change and create a plan for it. So I'm all about the future. what do you want to do and how do you want to do it? And not so much about what happened in the past. If we talk about the past, it's just because I'm a little nosy and I'm like, oh, well, what happened? That was interesting. Tell me more about that. But it's not a place from which we will work. So I practice something called ontological coaching, which is really just the study of being. So what I want to know for you is, who do you want to be when you reach that goal? It's not just about the goal. Like, how do you want to show up in the world? How do you want to present yourself? Are you being your full self? At the same time, did you reach the goal you wanted to reach? Because what happens is we can reach our goals and then we're like, I was dissatisfied. That wasn't fulfilling. The people in my life are toxic, whatever that word means. Like, everybody's got toxic people now.
Right.
And so my focus with you is, who are you and what are you trying to accomplish? And who do you want to show up as? That will weed out some of the toxicity that happens once you get clean with yourself and showing up for you. So really, it's just a partnership. You say you want to work on something, you don't know how to get there, you've got blocks in your life. I'm there as your coach to point to it and say, hey, what's up? You told me you were going to do X, Y, and Z. You didn't do it. Now let's figure out why you didn't do it.
Okay.
It's just a conversation, really, with somebody in your ear.
So I really love that concept. And I guess, so here's a question I want to throw out there. So in this time frame, we have, I would say collectively as African Americans, been exploring the fact of having a therapist, doing internal work. And you brought up the fact about this, being a life coach, right? And so I even had someone go as far as to say, like, everybody should have a therapist, right? And usually Black people run from therapy, the concept of talking aloud to somebody else. So my question is, with more of us needing a therapist than we'll admit to it, should we all have a life coach?
Yes.
Yeah.
And why?
Everybody needs a therapist and a coach, if it were up to me. Now, there are some people who don't need a coach because they are therapeutic. Like, some people will go to a coach and not go to a therapist when what they really are trying to deal with is trauma or depression or something that's a therapeutic need.
Got it.
Those people need a therapist first and not a coach. Now, I have clients who have both. They have a therapist and they have me as a coach because they are working out the issues with their therapist, and I'm the one getting them into action on changing their life.
Nice.
But you can't substitute one for the other.
That makes that makes all the sense to me. So give me an example of, when people are, ready for a coach, right? Because I definitely think that it's necessary for life.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How do I know? Yeah, how do I know that like right now I need a coach in my life to help me develop this plan or be strategic about moving to the next level? How do I know that?
Besides Cassie telling you,
right.
How does a general
now Cassie's
person
already
know?
told me, so I'm already clear. I need a therapist and a coach. But how does one?
I will agree.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yes, I'll agree with that. No, here's how you know the difference.
Okay.
It's like a typical person who works with the coach has some stuff that they want to accomplish, but blocks keep getting in the way. Like, they don't know how to do it. So you have a business and your business requires you to make phone calls to people. And every time you get ready to make a phone call, your heart starts beating fast and you don't do it. And so your business is floundering.
Wow. Yes.
Like, what was...
Oh, Sheila, come back.
Oh,
there she go. Okay.
Yeah. Can you see me now?
Back on the screen.
Hold on.
Okay.
There we go.
You got me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in reverse order, but we all good.
It's okay. Beauty before youth.
Absolutely.
So like I was saying, it's like if you have a goal or you're a business owner and there are things you want to do to grow your business, but every time you get ready to do that step, you get stuck. You need a coach to help you figure out what that block is and to create a plan for you to do that action.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be with the business. It can be in your relationship. Like, you might have decided that your next step is to be in a relationship, and you always stop short of the commitment. Like, that was me. Like, I would date somebody and be like, I'm gonna be in a relationship, and 3 days later I'm like, he smacked his food and I can't do that, so I'm out. But I kept saying this is something that I wanted, but really I didn't. So once I got ready to commit to forming a relationship, I started working with a coach. I'm like, what is it about me that keeps me from taking the next step?
Yeah.
Help me identify it and then help me create the plan. So that's different from therapy, right? In therapy, we're trying to figure out, why are you doing that crazy stuff that you do? Yeah. Why are you down on yourself? Why do you talk crazy to yourself? In coaching, we're like, I'm talking crazy to myself, and here's the plan for me to stop doing it.
So here's something in your example. I need a coach. You just don't deal with the business aspects of my life, so to speak. Like, I've got a business and I need to get over this hump, or I need a promotion at work. You also deal with personal relationships. Like, I'm ready to get married, not get married. I want to build a family. You help create the plan or move past those hurdles as well?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a coach can work with you on anything. And at the end of the day, the same patterns show up everywhere. So the way you show up in a relationship is how you're showing up in your business. You just don't know it. Right? The way you show up in your business is how you're showing up in your relationship with your family and friends and children. Like, all the stuff is not so isolated. We don't live in a silo of ourselves. We are our full self. And so if you have communication issues at home and in your relationship, chances are in your business, you got the same communication issues that are impacting that too. So a life coach can work with you on anything, because it's not necessarily about the thing. It's about how you are being in it.
How you're showing up.
And how
I
you're
like
dealing
that.
with it.
Okay.
So in the last segment, we were talking about magical Negroes, right? And when you see the magical Negro inside of different movies, they're usually like, they can do everything. This is why we think that they're magical. They give you all the best advice. They, can just move mountains when they only have a little bitty buggy to help push things forward. It's like, so, and I say that because when it comes to Black people, right? I think sometimes we all kind of have that trope inside of us. Okay. This magical Negro, whereas I don't need to ask for help for anything, because if I do, that makes me less of a person, or that, that makes me weak, or helpless. How do we get specifically Black people to, to start thinking about the idea of planning ahead and getting help to plan, and it doesn't, it doesn't affect them individually as being helpless? I don't know if that was a lot.
Yeah, no, but I hear you. It's like, I deal with this every day with clients or people who want to be my client, or I'm trying to get them. It's like, I believe in manifesting. I believe in living in intention, but manifesting and intention without works gets you nothing.
Yes.
And so a lot of us in the Black community believe, I just got to believe it and it's going to happen for me. So I don't need anybody's help outside of prayer. Right. That's a place to start. But without the action behind it, you probably are not going to get to the place you want to get to.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, because I was one of those Black people who did everything for myself, for you, for people who didn't even ask me to do it. Part of it was I had a trust issue. I didn't trust that either you were going to do it correctly.
Right.
Or I didn't trust that I would be strong enough to be able to take whatever criticism would come my way if I didn't do it and it was perfect.
Ooh, yes. Come on.
So it wasn't even about the other person. It was about me. Absolutely. But it showed up as, I don't need your help and I can do it all. And all I got to do is pray. That's how that showed up in my life. It might show up differently in yours. So as a community, we see help as weakness because we've been hurt.
Yes.
Yeah. We've been hurt when we've asked somebody for help before and it didn't turn out well. So we got hurt. They talked about us. They didn't do it. whatever it was, and it created for us this idea that I don't need it because we're scared of what happens when we ask for it.
That is so true.
Yeah. So really, if you put down the fear, you will realize that things can happen. It's funny because you mentioned magical thinking. That's how I interpreted it. Like we have magical thinking in our community. All I gotta do is believe it, it'll happen. And magical thinking is great when you are a child. Like, I want to be a princess. Great. I'm going to be a princess. Twirl around, you're a princess. But magical thinking as an adult only keeps you in a space of not getting your dreams met.
Oh. Sheila, let me ask you this, because I think this is where you are is important and delicate. And here's what I mean by that. From magical Negroes to magical thinking, I hear the undertones of religion in America. And it is what it is. And so that's why I say it's a delicate place, and it's a nuanced place to be, because we've said several times, just pray and it's going to happen, right? And, full disclosure, I grew up in the church, right? So it just, quite frankly, it sounds like church, right? And the structure, and I think what you're saying, so first of all, I'm one of those people that in my subconscious, asking for help is a weakness, right? Which I need to deal with. But I've got that, and Tucson says, aspiration over the reality, right? So is part of this built into the culture, the collective culture is what I'm asking you. Is part of this idea of magical thinking built into the culture? And one of the things that you find specifically, because I know you have clients that aren't just African American, but one of the things you find specifically in our subconscious schemata, or the way we deal with things, is that something that you find relevant?
Yeah. And it goes both ways, right? So there's the magical thinking that is all I got to do is say it will be. And then on the other side of that is I may as well not waste my time because I can't have it. Like, things aren't for me. Like, I can't be that person because of who we have been in this country, how we have been treated in this country, right? The notion that all you need to do is work with the coach and all your dreams can come true sounds crazy to most Black people. Because we know our history in this country does not allow for that most times, 99% of the time, right? So we lean to religion and spirituality because that's where our hope lies. And it makes sense. As a coach, with my Black clients, a lot of times they are resistant to some of the things I'm asking them to do because they're like, that's not going to happen for me. Like, just briefly, like last year, I declared in last December that not only was I going to be in a serious relationship, but I was going to be married by the end of 2020. Now, that was some work that I had to do in my life that would allow me to be at that place. And so many people in my life said that's magical thinking. Like, you ain't met the guy yet, and you already claim you're going to be married to him in 2020. I'm like, if he's the right one, I will be. So I didn't just put it out there. I started doing the work and the actions to manifest that for myself, along with prayer and the blessings of my ancestors, and everybody else came together with the actions that I put in place. So it wasn't just a magical thought I put out there. I put a magical thought with a plan.
But that's
when I got married in August.
But that's when magical thought and manifestation go on different paths, right?
Yeah.
Because magical thought, like you said, it kind of just stays stagnant. It just stays in your dreams. But the manifestation, when you put that work in and the prayer and the practice, you're then bringing it towards you, and you all are going to meet so it can actually come to be. That's a difference. I love it.
So Sheila, let's do this. We're going to go, we're at the top of the hour. We're going to go on a break, and we're going to ask everybody again to like, comment, and share the broadcast. You're going to want to hear the second half because we're going to talk about living with intent. We're going to talk about purpose, but we're also going to talk about some practical things that you can do. It's New Year's Eve. We don't want to just leave that hanging out there. What can I do tonight to prepare myself? Just a few tidbits, Sheila. What can I do to prepare myself for 2021 and live intentionally, live on purpose, with purpose?
And the word of the day is subconscious schemata.
and we're gonna go to break. So you're on the green side with Sadeek and Cassiopeia. See us after the break.
WIFTBPN.
It's the big Chicago great, Simeon legend, University of Illini legend. ILL, baby! Man, flying Illini, man. That's a big Vitale. I don't think he could have stated it any better. NBA great. It's always great to have a Chicago basketball icon, hoop legend, the one and only Nick Anderson in the building. Nick, how you feeling, brother?
What's going on, fellas? From that day I got drafted till we are sitting here in front of each other today, I'm thankful and I'm grateful that my mom has never worked another day in her life. People don't know. I can remember the conversations that me and Benji used to have all the time, that we were going to buy our mom a big house and a pretty car. It was so unfortunate that he wasn't here to live out that dream, but I lived out the dream for me and him. As you know, Benji wore number 25. I wore number 25 my entire college career and my entire NBA career because of Benji. You think about all the guys that came out of Simeon and went down to the U of I that wore number 25 after me at the University of Illinois. And then you have to give love to Newt, Juwan Howard. He wore number 25 at Michigan. We carry that name on. That legacy is still being carried today.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. You see D Rose wearing 25 now. It's special. That means something to me. And that's something I will always carry with me.
The guys at Simeon that wear 25, all of the guys at Illinois, Deion Thomas, Brian Notary, all of those guys up until now. And like you said, in the league, we see Kendrick Nunn. Jabari had number 25 stitched in his shoes when he played for the Bulls.
Yes, sir.
It's a Chicago thing, man. I feel like we wear Benji, however we can represent Ben Wilson, we do it. I remember Common, one of his famous albums, I think it was One Day of the Law Makes Sense or something, and he had a whole 4 bars about Ben Wilson, and it kind of just took me back. It's like anytime you hear a new Ben Wilson story, or anytime you hear the name Ben Wilson, it just resonates like none other. So I'm glad that you were able to start that whole, and I don't even want to call it a trend, because it's definitely more than a trend,
Oh, exactly. It just carry on. One of the greats, one of the special ones. He will always be talked about. He will always be brought up in conversations somehow, some way. And because he was special. He was just a special guy, not only basketball-wise, but a human being. He was just a special dude. I still remember what I was doing and where I was at that day all that went down. I remember it like it happened yesterday. I just can't forget it.
Being outside, like across the street at the candy store or something when all of that went down.
Yeah, man, I remember it just like it was yesterday. And the way how dark it got in a few seconds, it was, just to think about it, man, it just brings a dark cloud over your head.
Minding our black-owned business. I have a good friend with us this morning. I'm so excited. Jonathan Swain is here. KimBarkBeverage.com. We tend to talk about business a lot. We both are in family businesses. Was this the plan? Because you are second-generation business owner.
Yeah. No, actually, I'll talk about it from my father's perspective, and I'll talk about it from my perspective. His perspective, he did not want me to be in this business. The liquor business has a sordid history. They call it a sin business. I mean, it's less that now, but it had a very sordid history. He didn't want me to do this. He wanted me to go off to school. My father was the first person to fire me at 9 years old. I was supposed to be at work at 11 o'clock, and I showed up 5 minutes late, walked me outside, and fired me. And I'll never be late again. So I appreciate him for that. I walked home. My mother said, well, what happened? I said, Dad fired me. What happened? I was late. He said, well, you got fired. You're late. You can't be late. Told you to get up and leave. My side of it, in many ways, I have a very unique rearing experience, and that I've never seen my father work a job. So when I was born, my dad was an entrepreneur. Growing up, I'm going to own my own business. I'm going to be in business doing something, controlling my own destiny in some ways. In particular, my father's generation relative to us, there's not a lot of information transfer about how that works. And there's not a lot of context. It's kind of, I'm going to keep you away from the struggles I had so you don't have them. But in not saying the struggles, you don't know how to get through the struggles. But as I've gotten older and we developed a relationship and talked about it, I began to understand a lot of the bumps and the bruises and the challenges and what makes entrepreneurship and business ownership not for the weak and weary. All the success I've had in business has been a function of with my parents. As fortunate as I am and people look to my business story, there is no business story but for them and what they did. I mean, my dad was the first black business owner in Hyde Park in the 1970s. Hyde Park, though it's in welcoming and inclusive now, wasn't always that way.
Yeah.
There are a lot of stories that he would tell us about the challenges that he had being a black-owned business in Hyde Park back in the 1970s. That success comes from their legacy ultimately.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Yeah. Welcome back. Yeah. You are on What's in It for the Black People Media. The green side of things with Sadeek.
And Cassiopeia.
Oh, wow. Happy New Year, Cassie.
Cheers. Oh, my God.
And speaking of cheers, we are talking with life coach. I like accomplishment coach.
I love the accomplishment coach.
Accomplishment coach, Sheila Collins. And, you know, we talked in the first half of this about the difference between a life coach and a therapist. But I want to talk about this concept of living with intent, living with purpose, on purpose.
Yes.
And how we get to that, Sheila. And then don't let me forget, but I want to give the audience some practical tips, some things that they can do tonight in order to, and it's not a magical piece, right? But just something to get you started, some exercises so that we can make the best out of 2021.
Yeah.
So living on purpose.
Yeah.
Living with intent.
Living on
Talk
purpose.
to us about that.
Well, it's easier said than done for most people.
Okay.
What I see as living with intent and purpose, first of all, most people don't know what their purpose is. They think they do. And they got it from what somebody told them was their purpose in life.
Wow.
Because they were good at something as a child or as a young adult, and they're like, that's what you should do. And they start like, oh, this is my purpose.
Yeah.
So the first step to living your purpose is to figure out what your purpose is. Like I do an exercise with my clients on finding their life purpose. So my life purpose is actually to bring joy to people into the world. I do that through my profession of a life coach by helping people be their best selves. And people just love being around me. So I bring joy to the world.
You're funny.
Sheila's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, super funny.
Funny is an
and
understatement.
Sweet. And super sweet.
Funny is a euphemism.
Yes.
You're hilarious.
Yeah, my family has a different name for it. But that's my purpose, right? To bring joy. And I have found a profession that allows me to do that. So if you don't know what your purpose is, you should take some time to figure that out. And it doesn't necessarily mean that your purpose is going to be your job.
Right.
I'm just lucky enough to have found the space where that can happen for me. I hope other people are able to do it too.
I like that concept, right? Job versus purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times, that can get drawn into different, it can be synonymous with some people.
Mm-hmm.
It can get drawn into left field. How do I distinguish my job from my purpose?
Well, I was about to say the easiest way is which one brings you money. They can both bring you money, but if you haven't figured out how to monetize your purpose, then the job is something separate.
That's something to marinate on, right? Monetize your purpose.
Yeah.
It's all great that I say my purpose is joy,
mm-hmm.
but what is that job? If I wasn't sure about that for me, I'm not going to be working in my purpose.
Right.
I just happen to be doing so because it brings me joy to do what I do, and it brings other people joy. So the way you can distinguish it for yourself is, have you found the thing that is your purpose, that is your job? And if not, it's okay. I know we tell people to do your passion. Your passion should be your work. Well, it might not be. Your passion might be playing the guitar, but you don't want to do that as your job.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with
That's
that.
real. That's real. There's a lot of people that don't want to go down that path.
Yeah. So really the place to start is, what is it that you want to do versus what people are telling you need to do because it's your purpose or it's your passion. Like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. And that's really what life is about and living in intention is about. It's making intentional choices for yourself that benefit you and not other people all the time.
Can your purpose change throughout life?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you change. You're not the same person you were last year. You definitely aren't the same person you were 20 years ago.
Right, for sure.
20-year-old Sheila is not 46-year-old Sheila. Thank goodness. So with that, my purpose in life has changed. And I actually know what it is.
Wow.
It might change again. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I give myself the freedom to be flexible enough to live my life.
Yeah.
And not be stuck with what I said you said this 10 years ago that you wanted to be a doctor. I changed my mind. And now I want to do something else.
Yeah.
So, your purpose changes just like our bodies change, our skin changes, our hair, all of that stuff changes. So it's kind of crazy to me to think that what's most essential to your life, your soul, all of that stays the same.
So, Sheila, talk to me a little bit about this concept of intentional choices, right? So, and what I mean is sometimes we can get caught up, and I'll say I'll protect the innocent and the viewing audience out there. We can get caught up, or I can get caught up in, the mortgage is due, the light bills come in, so-and-so, the relatives are calling, they need this, they need that. And so it's kind of almost like life is happening as opposed to I'm choosing or I'm being intentional about choices. Talk to me a little bit about how you sort through that, or how you would help somebody just see that your intentional choices are causing what you see as happening around you.
Yeah. Well, I see that as, are you living your life, or is your life living you? And most of us are letting our lives live us. But I would argue that you are not living in intention or making intentional choices if you are in a space where other people's phone calls, other people's desires and needs trump yours.
Right.
Like, you are allowing them to live your life for you. So living in intention means that you might have to upset some people in order to have your focus in your dreams. It doesn't mean you go around saying no and being mean and all that kind of stuff. But it does mean that you are able to put yourself first while also recognizing that you're a part of a community.
Okay.
So intentional living. No, go ahead, Cass.
I was just going to ask you that question. So, right, when you are in a marriage, in a partnership, you're a mother, you are part of a community or a family, right? How do you still balance out putting yourself first, living in your purpose, but then also being a part of that partnership or that family and community and the responsibilities that come with that?
Yeah. Communication.
Communication.
So you have to talk to people, communicate. So it might not be that you're on the same page. And at some point, somebody wins, if you want to see it that way. I like to look at it as a win-win. How do we both get what we want or need? Or how do we both give up just a little bit so we meet somewhere in the middle? So we all have people pulling at us and wanting and needing stuff. And sometimes it's easier for us to live in that space than it is to actually make the choice and decision.
Right.
To live intentionally. Like, it's a lot easier to be like, I didn't do this thing because my mom wanted me to do this. My husband needed me to do that. My children needed me to do that. So I just was spread thin. Like, you aren't living in intention. And what you're really doing is being a victim of your own life.
Ooh, yes.
And it's easy to be there because then you have no responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for the stuff that happened to me. You did it. The responsible, intentional person makes decisions and choices and weighs out how it's going to go. And it might not be perfect for everybody, but you are living your life.
Yeah.
So, like, my husband and I have differences on a lot of stuff. We are still learning each other and negotiating and figuring some stuff out. At the end of the day, if everything he says, I'm just like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
And
I'm living his life and I'm not living mine.
Right.
And he ultimately is going to be upset because he don't want somebody who just agrees with everything he says.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too cold. Oh, it's okay. I'm just going to put on a sweater. No, I'm turning up the heat.
Yeah.
Today. Tomorrow, I might not. So really, it's not about the other person with living in intention. That's the excuse you gave yourself to not do the stuff you wanted to do. And that's where a life coach comes in. It's like, you said you were going to do this thing, and now you're telling me that you couldn't do it because somebody else asked you to do something. What's up with that?
Wow.
Why did you do it that way?
So Sheila, we're up against the break here. On the other side of it, I want to talk about a little bit about how to get out of that space. And then I want to give the audience some practical things that they can do tonight. They're tuning in to the green side of things, this conversation we're having. What can they do tonight to better themselves and to make some decisions in coming into 2021? So we're going to go to break. You're on the green side of things with Sadeek
and Cassiopeia.
And we're talking with Sheila Collins, and we're going to talk about getting out of the victim space, and we're going to set you up to win in 2021. So like, share, comment. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
This is Mix La Production. This is Mix La Production.
Welcome back. Welcome back. What's in it for the Black People Media? Shout out to my man Maze Jackson. Shout out to the Jackson family. Entrepreneurs.
They got me drinking this strong and shit here.
Yeah.
Black on, no. I'm going to post it a little bit later.
I don't know if the Jackson family did that.
No.
Just
Maze.
Just Maze. Okay. All right. We'll put it that way. I don't want to put it on the family. Shout out to the family. What's in it for the Black People Media? You're on the green side of things with Sadeek
and Cassiopeia.
And we are talking to accomplishment, life coach, strategy expert, and advisor to all of the infamous people around the globe, Sheila Collins. You okay?
Hey.
I'm okay.
Okay. Cassie's okay. Sheila, you okay?
I'm okay.
We're just having fun, Sheila. That's all.
Oh my God!
And so we're inside of this conversation and loving this. We've been talking about purpose, intent, the difference between a therapist and a coach. And what we want to do is we wrap up because we know you have things to do and time is important. How do we get out of the space of being victims? How do we cross that? And then give us, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 things that we as an audience can do practically tonight or tomorrow morning in order to prepare ourselves to live on purpose with purpose in 2021.
Yeah. Set some goals.
Okay.
Would be the first thing I would say do. And I don't mean like easy goals. Most of us set goals from a place of fear. So we set the goal on the thing that we think we can do. Like, so you might set a goal to lose 5 pounds. Yeah, you can probably lose 5 pounds, but you're scared to say you want to change your life and transform your life. And that might require a commitment to change how you're eating, exercise more, stop drinking and all that stuff. So you set a small attainable goal and you reach it and then you're unsatisfied.
Yeah. Ooh.
So it's a cycle.
One thing it's a cycle. It's like, I'm going to hit the goal and I did it and then I'm unsatisfied. So I continue to do these small goals because I want to say I'm a success, which I think is great. So I like a mix of attainable goals. And then I like the mix of things that you have told yourself you can't have. Therefore, you're never going to make it a goal. Like you've already decided you can't do it. So it's never a goal for you, but that's the thing that you've been yearning for. And so your life isn't fulfilled because what you really want, you're scared to go after. So spend some time tonight doing that. Like, what is it that I've been afraid to say I want? Because either I think I can't have it. Somebody told me I can't have it. It's not a part of my dream cycle where I'm like, oh, I've seen myself doing that thing. What's the thing that you really want that you don't have, that you're afraid to say? What's that goal? And then think of some smaller things that you can attain and achieve that would make you happy, but really won't fulfill your life. That's really the first step that you can do tonight and probably should have done 6 months ago because the time for action is the first. The time for planning was before.
Okay, well,
so you're already behind the 8 ball.
Right, we late to the table. I feel you symbolically spanking us, but we want to be at the table. We want to be in the now. So what we're going to do tonight is set goals and fair to say that challenge us and not repeat the cycle of setting something that I know that I can do, right? Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to learn how to work my iPhone.
Right.
We're going to set some goals that actually...
That might be a little difficult for you, Sadeek, but keep going. I get it.
Yeah, that's actually, I wrote that down. I'm going to learn how to work my iPhone. That's going to challenge me and get out of this cycle. But I think that is, so that's number one. Okay, what's number two?
Number two is you can call it a letter, you can call it a journal, you can call it whatever you want. But spend some time writing tonight and writing down the things that you are willing to give up or put down. Those are behaviors. Those are attitudes. Those might be people. Like, what are the things you're willing to give up to help you get what you want? And get really clean with yourself tonight on, I'm willing to give up negative self-talk. I'm willing to give up fried pork sandwiches. I'm willing to give up telling myself I can't do it. Start with a clean slate tomorrow. So what is it that you're willing to give up now that you need to give up in order to get your goal? And just write it all out. Put it on paper. Get it out of your brain. Put it into the universe. And then you'll have it so that when you start going back and doing those things, you said, oh, I planned on giving that up. I wrote it down. And yet I'm still doing the thing. It's a good reminder of where we are. And it also will help you figure out if you are really ready to do the thing you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
So if you want to change your life and you aren't willing to start exercising, you aren't really serious about that goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheila,
if you
you don't have to talk about me on oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, you meant that in general. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. But no, it's like we all set goals and then sometimes we're like, I don't know why that happened. Well, it's like you weren't willing to stop doing the thing that kept you from doing it in the first place. So that's why I know you didn't do it. So what do you know? So spend some time tonight just being with yourself and writing down, here are the things I'm willing to give up in order to get this goal.
I love it.
That I
love
have.
it. And give us the third thing. Give us one, two. You get set goals, right? Write to yourself or journal about what you're willing to give up. It's kind of like what are you willing to throw overboard so the balloon can rise, right? What are you willing to move out so what is you're looking for can move in. So what is the third thing that the audience can do tonight to usher in 2021 in a practical manner?
Yeah, so this is kind of a 2-in-1. I call it plan tomorrow today. So at night before you go to bed, write down the 6 things you intend to do tomorrow. Just 6. Any more than that is too many. Right? You can have a whole list of stuff, but prioritize. Here are the 6 things I'm going to do tomorrow. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, you already know what your day is supposed to look like. It takes out the trying to figure stuff out. It takes out the 3 hours you're sitting on the couch. I don't know what to do today. You already planned it. And so you hit the ground running. Also with that is creating accountability around that list. So I have a friend who I create my list with, and I text it to her every night. So that then the next day, she's like, what's up with number 5 on your list? You didn't say anything about it. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Let me go ahead and take care of number 5. Or say, I'm not going to do it and own it. But plan your day the night before. It gives you a jump start. It takes out the figuring it out, and it gives you choice and action.
Wow.
And it just keeps it small.
Choice.
So I do that every night.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't always succeed in completing the 6 things, but I know I was going to do them. And then I can say, oh, well, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So, okay. So we've got set goals, journal or write about what you're willing to give up, and then plan tomorrow today.
Yes.
Set at least 6 things that you're going to do the next day that moves you toward the goals that you set and helps you eliminate the things that you talked about giving up.
Yeah.
So I love that. So that's a practical piece. Sheila, tell us how people can get in touch with you. How can we experience Coach Collins?
You can call me on my phone line, which is, do I remember the number? Yes, 708-529-1647. Probably the easiest way is to email me or to DM me on Instagram. I'm Sheila, SHELIA, at coachingwithsheila.com is my email address. So Sheila, SHELIA is the first name. Sheila at coachingwithsheila.com. On Instagram, I'm simply Sheila Collins _. And yeah, if you want to, I give free sample sessions. I really believe that people should try out coaching. And so the best way for you to know if coaching is for you or if you have the right coach is to do a sample session with someone. And so anyone who reaches out to me, I give one free session to them so that they can experience it and see what they like. And don't just go off what other people have said. But the main thing I would say is for the new year, Black folks, we need to hire coaches and therapists and start moving our lives forward and not just talk about it and have an overall well-being. Like you can be healthy, but if everything in your life isn't handled, your well-being is off.
Yeah.
So it's not just about eating and exercising. It's about spirituality. It's about that you pay your bills. It's about your relationships, a full life. And that's what I want my clients to have. And that's where I want us to go as a people, looking at the full life and not just parts of it and saying we're okay. We agree. So that's what we do.
I love it. And after I get my therapist and my life coach, I'm going to need AA as well. After Mace Jackson made me drink this.
Everybody, we were talking to or are talking to Sheila Collins.
Yes.
And she is a life coach, but I like accomplishment coach.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that.
I like people to
because that means we've reached the goals.
Absolutely.
Accomplish. Be great.
Right, right. And she is certified, and she was talking with us about living with intent and living with purpose on purpose. Sheila, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheila.
We're gonna take a brief break, and we'll be back with you right after this on the green side.
Sheila is Jalisa.
WIFTBPN. You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard. We have a very, very special guest, man, joining us on today's show.
Walter Beach, he's my godfather and one of two of the dopest black men I've met in my entire life.
This is how I always introduce myself. I'm black in attitude, I'm black in behavior, I'm black in belief and thought, and I'm African in spirit. I accept and acknowledge the fact of my African self being intuitively and have developed the cognitive strength to function as a black man in America. As an African black man, my hypocrisy manifests as silent rage. I must decide what my relationship to racism will be. Only I can say when and where I enter my manhood with quiet, undisputed dignity, without violence or special patronage, asking no quarters, and giving no quarter. When and where I enter, I take with me my people. That's what the sovereignty that Toussaint was talking about means to me. I'm a sovereign human being. And like he was talking about in that point that we made in Amistad when we was talking about all of our species demands to be free. They may not have the power to prevent it, but they just demands it. And that's what they do. That's what the struggle is about.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
getting lit.
Welcome back.
I ain't doing that.
Welcome back.
Sit on your crack.
Welcome back.
Get the hell back.
Welcome back.
Trying to get me slapped.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the green side of things. Yo, son.
Yes.
Yes, welcome back to the green side of things. You are in here with Sadeek.
And Cassiopeia and...
The God.
Oh, yeah.
Himself. I told you God was mulatto with wavy hair.
First
Y'all
of all,
thought I
not a
forgot?
mulatto. That's first. That's first. Okay.
Well, you said...
I'm mixed with 2 Negroes.
Okay. Let's
Who was mixed with
right.
two Negroes.
Let's
Who
not
was
even
mixed
go there.
with
Yeah.
2 Negroes.
Right.
With...
Just go back far. Just go back far enough. Just go back far enough.
2 Negroes for a whole long time.
I'm with you. It's the same thing with me. We can't find them. It take a long time to find them.
Yes, I'm in between the sun and the moon. Welcome back.
Who's
to
the sun?
He's the sun?
I guess so. They
Oh,
say
okay.
the moon is a feminine spirit,
right,
so that's all
exactly.
good.
All right.
Look at that. I'm learning stuff already.
So listen,
Oh,
everybody.
Cassie throat on fire over here.
Yeah, she's toasting for tonight.
Drinking Uncle Nearest. Is that what that is?
Yes.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
93 proof.
Yeah.
Man up, man. Take it like a man.
No, don't take it like
But
that.
I'm not.
Right.
You know.
I don't need none of that. I am not that person.
So
that.
so
Praise be
listen,
to
you
God.
all. The first thing I want to say, I want to shout out to our sponsor and our main support, Soul Vegan.
Yes, we love Soul Vegan.
We love Soul
I
Vegan.
do.
Cassie, where's your Soul Vegan?
It's not in my stomach yet.
Now, how long you been asking for the Soul Vegan?
It's been about 3.5 weeks.
Where's Soul Vegan located?
Well, they are
a food company.
They're a production company. So their products, they don't have a restaurant. They produce food. They're one of the largest food producers, not just vegan, in Illinois, period. They're in all the Whole Food stores from here to like Streamwood to Kankakee.
I already knew this. I did all that branding. I forgot I did all that.
That was you?
Yeah, that was years ago.
Oh, okay. Years ago.
what's
Hey,
up.
shout out to former Cook County President Todd Stroger.
Todd Stroger.
Todd, what's happening? And you know, Todd tuned in right at the right time because as we told you last week, Todd is going vegan for 30 days.
Yes, he's
And
doing the January jump off with us.
Because Todd is such a person of the community, and we're giving you this permission from the green side of things. Because Todd is such a person of the community, if you see him in a chicken joint during January, you are free to smack the chicken out of
his
Todd's hands.
And his mouth.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the 30 days.
Todd
too, but
agreed
you
to
smack
that.
some chicken out my hands for him. It's gonna be
It's
a
going
different.
down.
But you're not gonna be, you're not
I'm
gonna have any chicken.
He
I'm
gonna try my best.
Yeah,
You know, they
that's
got hair
it.
everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm just-
Don't try your best. Don't be the magical Negro.
I'm a magical Negro.
Oh, no.
He already said
Definitely
he
magical
really,
Negro.
really,
It's
really,
definitely
really,
a magical
really,
Really.
got a problem with asking for help.
Alvin, what's that picture? I can't see.
That's
it
a
here.
drink.
Oh, it's a drink. Okay. Look
He
like
toasting
a
with
coffee
us.
cup.
Listen, the
I got my
Uncle
water.
Nearest, they say it's black on.
Black on.
And it was
The sister that owns it too, if I remember correctly.
oh nice. And it's based off, or it originally is an enslaved, I don't call nobody no slaves, an enslaved brother that actually made the formula that all of the Jack Daniels are the Jack Daniels
Of
is
course.
made from.
Of course.
So that's pretty dope. Listen, that enslaved African was angry.
So
he was feeding whiskey to plan the revolt.
Man, listen.
And look at y'all now, drinking gasoline.
So look,
Right.
Y'all got it all fucked up.
Right.
I know, y'all come
Today-
to y'all show. I know this ain't my show. We let it
no.
ride.
We're transitioning into your show.
Oh, okay. So
We're a family
fuck this
around
shit.
here.
We gonna go all the way in.
So look, this is because I have to admit,
You know it's
I
sexist
love the
around
show.
here. If I would have
That's
did
not
it,
true.
it'd been like,
That's not true. No, that's because Cassie's under contract.
didn't be-
He not
he's
under
been
contract.
frozen.
He ain't under contract. Cassie's under contract. Green side. I will not say bad words.
bad words.
Bad words, right? With brother Sadeek. But we just want to let our hair down. We had a great show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Y'all did, man. I was tuned in.
Yay!
Talking about these black media images, and we have more. And Dion is spectacular. That's my man.
I gotta get your thoughts on any of the movies that we were talking about.
So now I'm not gonna lie, I tuned in to some of that, and I heard him talking about all of the superhero stuff.
Yeah,
and you want to hear his top 10?
Yeah, I wasn't. That's not my thing, the superhero stuff. So
okay,
I can't speak to that.
All right, so this is Steele's binge list for New Year's. Let's get you Django.
Yeah, no.
Okay, Black Dynamite.
Yeah, no.
Brown Sugar.
That was good.
That's the joint.
Yeah.
Life.
That's the joint.
Empire Strikes Back.
Not going.
He's not a sci-fi person.
Black Panther.
Not really going either.
Okay. Well, let's come back to that. Yeah. I want to know why no go. Yes. Hold on. Let's get everything else. We're coming back to 2 on that one. Dave Chappelle's Block Party.
Anything with Dave, I'm going.
Of course.
Okay, everybody's going.
That's easy for him.
Jingle Jangle.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. But
All right.
Not.
Small Acts, the second episode, Lovers Rock.
Somebody sent me to watch that not too long ago, and they was praising it, and I watched it, but yeah, I ain't get it.
No go. Okay. Sylvie's Love.
Oh my God, that was so good. It's on Amazon Prime. It is a romance movie.
Yeah, did that.
That's a no. That's a no.
Yeah,
and Yardie.
Yardie was decent.
Yardie was decent.
Yeah,
okay.
Was decent.
All right. So full circle.
These are favorite movies. Period. Or favorite black movies.
No, these are.
I think
not
you only had
favorite.
only one that wasn't black.
These were movies to binge on New Year's Day. We didn't qualify that, but most of them are black. And The Empire Strikes Back, if you like Darth Vader, he's black.
Right.
He was based on a black man.
Yeah.
He really was.
Yeah. Voiced by a black man in a black suit. So
that
that's
is.
about as black as you're going to get in this shit.
We
right.
Doing nothing else but that.
Right, exactly. But let's come back up to Black Panther, no.
Yeah,
Why no?
I ain't with the white savior complex. When you start to really look at that flick, a few things bother me, right? It's kind of really telling of the story of African Americans in a real way. So when you think about what's my man's name? The villain in the movie Black Panther. Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Right. So all Killmonger was an African American, right? American descendant of slaves.
Right.
I mean? And the pushback that he got in coming to Wakanda, that irritates me because in a lot of ways it is kind of it's a very similar story to what happens in real time. You know what I mean? And then when you start to analyze the movie, the white CIA agent essentially becomes the savior for Wakanda in a lot of ways.
He does. I had a problem with that.
I got a problem with that.
You want to save the colonizer. We always want to save the colonizer.
Then when T'Challa comes back,
the savior. That's oversimplifying.
Then when T'Challa comes back, this is the most Negro shit of the movie to me, though.
Oh, when
T'Challa comes back to Oakland and says, "I'm gonna give y'all a basketball gym."
No, I thought he gave him a science academy.
No, it was more than that. Yeah, it was
a community center then.
No.
He gave him a science academy.
It was a STEM center.
I don't give a shit.
Wait, but
you got what is it called? Vibranium, and you gave me a goddamn STEM center. No, I want the vibranium. I want what you got.
But you got to learn how to use the vibranium.
I need my birthright. Equation. I am demanding my birthright.
They didn't deny him.
He died. You know what I'm saying?
Denying me my birthright. No. And now you going to give me a damn gym? No. I'm cool, fam. I'm cool.
He didn't give him a gym.
You know what the story of
you oversimplified it. He didn't give him a gym.
He gave them education.
You interpreted the movie through your trauma.
What y'all in grammar school? Keep it simple, stupid. Those are always the answers. Those are always the answers.
He didn't give him a gym, no.
Go back to those. Y'all gonna say that this white man saved Wakanda. I ain't going off that one. I can't do that one. I'm not with y'all on that one.
Didn't he fight him with the fighter jet?
He fought one little portion of the movie.
But it was very important.
And now he saved everything, and you're going to take out everything that the sisters did. You're going to take out everything that his actual
I don't
think
that's the point. I think what I'm saying.
What did they do?
Huh?
Okay. What did all those other people do?
They was fighting their asses off
to stop what?
To stop Killmonger ass, which he also represents. There's a complication in there. You can't oversimplify that neither. He also represents the aspect of white society that wants to come in and colonize as well. Instead of him wanting to, hey, I get it, I'm mad, I'm pissed, let's go ahead. We're going to talk about the issues of the fact that we have a separation of Africa and African Americans. But no, fuck y'all, I'm just going to steal it back. There's an issue inside of that too. And we can't allow that part to happen
This is
either.
where we fundamentally disagree.
That's fine.
Right?
That's fine. That's
so,
where it's at.
In my mind.
What was he supposed to do? So come and kill the king right now, because you know what? Y'all don't know who I am, but I know who y'all are, so fuck y'all.
So let's do this. Let's do this.
That shit ain't righteous.
That's what I'm on.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's honor the break. Let's honor the break. We're at the break. We're gonna come back because I want to hear this from both Cassie and Two. No, because I've got my own piece on it. But let's do this. You're on the green side of things with Sadeek, Cassiopeia, and my man Two from I Said What I Said. We'll see you after the break, and we'll wrap up this New Year's Eve edition.
TBPN.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now.
Church Chicago's Power Hour. I'm your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Keys, TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
Do you believe that God's going to turn it around?
I got to.
Definitely. Why?
Why? Because he's did it before.
Come on.
And he'll do it again.
Yes.
That you can do it again.
Yes. Come on here.
Come on, I better leave that alone.
Somebody calling you right now.
Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing, I better go. God's going to turn it around.
And I feel like we have to encourage the people, because so many people are just truly depressed. They're going through the holiday blues, and we want you to know that you don't have to be discouraged. But you can in fact be encouraged, because God's going to turn it around.
God's turn it around. You know, it's me again. God's going to turn it around. I'm calling on you. You did it before.
Where my steppers at?
This is retired State Senator Ricky Hendon. This is my new song, Be My Christmas. It's on my House Party CD, produced by house music icons King Farley. It's available on my website, HollywoodHendon.com, various streaming platforms, and CDs. The album also has songs like We Getting Lit and Rona Money. Get the House Party CD in time for Christmas and New Year's Eve. This is our new song, We Getting Lit. Just in time for New Year's Eve. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Go to HollywoodHendon.com and get my music. Let's bring in 2021. Ricky Hollywood Hendon. Don't forget me, y'all.
This is the king of house music, Farley Jack Master Funk, and I endorse Hollywood Ricky Hendon. Let's go to work.
WIFTBPN.
You're here on What's in It for the Black People Media. It is New Year's Eve in the Western Hemisphere of the world. I just want to say that because it's like water.
Listen.
Like water.
It's like water. But check it out. You're on the green side of things with Sadeek, Cassiopeia, and we got my man, Two, from I Said What I Said, in the studio with us. We were talking black superheroes or black superhero mentality or consciousness. Earlier, we had a life coaching, accomplishment coaching session with an expert, Sheila Collins, and now we're wrapping it up on this New Year's Eve edition, and we were talking about yes, Black Panther.
we were talking about
Uncle
Black
Panther, and we were discussing the European gentleman who the colonizer, and let me state my position on that. I don't feel that he necessarily was the saving force of Wakanda. I feel that his role in the saving was overestimated, or it was too grand, or it always has to have. Why can't we just be the saving force by ourselves. So anyway, that's how I felt about it. So, but I'm not saying that he was the linchpin in the saving. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying that his role was over.
I think because that character, again, is concentrated a lot in Hollywood film, that we get a little sensitive whenever a white character comes in and does anything in aiding our people or whatever. I don't see him as, I see him coming in and she guided him the whole way. Like, to me, she the savior. The Sister Shuri, she to me takes more precedence over him, because without her, his ass wouldn't have been able to do shit. So, okay, that's me.
Fuck them all. I rock with Killmonger, right? And at the end of the day, for me, right, the most fundamental question in manhood and black masculinity specifically is, can you whoop my ass?
When is that book coming out, by the way?
I'm writing it, G. I'm also.
G, I need the book, because, I mean, you keep saying.
I'm a perfectionist, man, and I want to come out with some Ta-Nehisi Coates type of shit, and I just don't have Ta-Nehisi Coates kind of skills, so I'm really, really working hard at being Ta-Nehisi Coates, too.
So,
well, you ain't gotta be. You just be too. We love too. You awesome, man.
But I like to read, and when I read this shit, is like this poetic, and I want to be poetic, and I want people to buy into it at that level.
Sheila, if you're still watching,
I want to hear from your
I got a brother.
Voice.
I got a brother here that needs an accomplishment coach, so we can get this book up out of
an accomplishment coach.
That's what we need. We can get this book up out of him.
I got it on my computer. There's a lot of it in there, but it's just not what I struggle with. I read it.
Well, that's what she does.
That's what she does. Help you get past the struggle.
She's gonna help you get past.
That's the conversation we had. Sheila, we need you, because we need the book.
I'm with it. But in that vein, though, and to that statement, right? So even in the construct of Africans versus African Americans versus even the white colonizer, right? We was making the jokes. Like, you was mixed with two Negroes till you get to that white person, right? So, in the context of our existence, right? You don't get me without white folks. It is what it is, right? So when I think about that, I think about the two most pervasive energies that have ever kind of accompanied this planet, and they've been love and hate. Those are two prevailing energies, right? Love from the equator, from Africa, because everything was in abundance, so it's easy to love your brother. You know what I mean? Hate comes from scarcity.
Right,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Caucasoid mountains, white folks. It is
Northern and Southern cradle theory.
Same concept, right? Now, yin yang, that is only harbored in us in the way that it's harbored in any other human on this planet, because in a lot of ways we a science project. You know what I mean? This shit is not organic. You know what I mean? So we harbor that balance, and we've kind of created in a lot of ways. I know people, might disagree with this, but we're a very unique species in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? African American specific.
Oh, okay.
I would agree with that. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So in that vein, man, I honor both of those dualities. Right? That's why we get Martin Luther King and O-Block. You know what I mean? We operate in that duality all the time. That's the normality of our existence. So in that vein, man, I'm with Killmonger. Fuck all y'all. I'm gonna use the skill set that I learned from this scarcity to get what I want. And when I want to issue or live in this love spirit, I can do that as well. But both y'all fuck me, and I'm coming for what's mine. So fuck all y'all. And that's exactly what Killmonger's attitude was. Fuck y'all who took the vibranium from me. And when I get the vibranium, I'm coming for the motherfuckers who fucked me up after that. Because he wasn't stopping at Wakanda. He was coming to get the white people. He just needed the vibranium to do so.
That was a step on the way.
Yeah, he just needed the vibranium to do so. I don't have no army, but if I get the vibranium, I'm fucking everybody up. Can you whoop my ass, though?
So I think that's the same. That perpetuates, though, the entrance of Europeans into Africa anyway.
I'm not denying none of that shit. What I'm saying is I'm embracing both of those dualities. I'm embracing them. I'm not running from either one of them. This is my reality.
I get you. How does that play out though in legacy and generations and our children?
We start anew. Fuck all y'all who did be dirty, and here's the new species coming to take the planet. You cannot deny.
So we just got a new colonizer.
This ain't even it ain't no new colonizer, because it's gonna be one species at this point. We ain't colonizing nobody. It's all
you
us
got
now.
to colonize in order to create that new species.
Going to destroy.
That new one species. You can only get it once you have done what the European has already done.
So we already here. We got to recreate that.
No. Because it takes on a different. It takes on a different.
I
don't know about that. Right. Yeah.
But my point is, I'm rocking.
Can two whoop Killmonger's ass?
Obviously, I can because T'Challa did.
Probably in a movie.
Right.
You see,
T'Challa did, obviously. He was a fucking punk.
In a movie, and T'Challa was a punk. Damn.
Yeah, two can do it in a movie.
Yeah, T'Challa
and
it's
coming out
by the mountain man in the beginning. Like he was getting his ass whooped out movie. Come on, man, this is our superhero. Fuck out of here, man. Superman never took no L.
But he is. Oh Lord, that's
just saying.
Superman. What?
He don't take no L.
He took an L in Batman versus Superman. He died.
And what?
Batman versus Superman.
I wouldn't know.
Superman died. I didn't either. But
I don't know. Maybe he just took some L.
He took an L.
So Dre be on the same thing. He be like, man, because people be like Batman. He be like, no, Superman all the time.
Period.
You can't do shit with him.
Can't do nothing with him.
You really can't.
Because he had white vibranium.
White vibranium.
That's what it was.
Listen, you all. Listen, we get ready to close this out because we want you to enjoy your new year as it is stated in the Western Hemisphere.
Because it's water.
It's water. That's all you know. But there are several New Years and several points throughout this experience. But we're choosing right now the New Year that comes in at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And from the green side of things, we want to say thank you to What's in It for the Black People Media. We want to say thank you to Maze Jackson, to the personalities that surround us from the morning until the afternoon, the weekends, and those that kick the week off. So we just want to say total appreciation for what went wrong or what you felt about 2020, what you felt went right, and then the control and the purpose you're going to live with in 2021. And so from that angle, from the green side of things, Brother Sadeek.
And Cassiopeia says, take the Uncle Nearest challenge.
And
one shot.
And two, as we lead into I Said What I Said with Urban 2, look, we appreciate you, and we will see you in 2021.
Happy 2021.
Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for the stars.